Chapter 4594. What was going on? Everyone was stunned. The seventh elder's father. What kind of person was he? Countless people were shocked. What was going on? However, the elders of the beast tamer clans were all shocked. Could it be him? He was still alive. How was that possible? The Mountain Sea Palace was in an uproar. Those from the Green clan could not believe it. They had not heard of this name for many years. It had even become history. They did not expect him to appear again today. It was shocking. The Xiao clan's leader roared. Impossible. Xiao Mu had been dead for 5,000 years. How could he still be alive? Who are you? How dare you pretend to be someone from the Xiao clan? Do you think the Xiao clan is easy to fool? Men, take him down. At the clan leader's command, the first elder, second elder, and other strong people from the Xiao clan stood up. Soul power surged out. The roars of monsters could be heard. As a beast tamer clan, once they attacked, it would be an earth-shattering scene. Damn it! How dare you? The seventh elder also shouted angrily. This was her father. Xiao Mu stood in the sky and looked down. It has been 5,000 years. Looks like no one remembers me. Has the Xiao clan fallen to such a state? At this point, a ray of light shone in his eyes. Then, a terrifying sound erupted from his body and swept across the sky. The surrounding Xiao clan's elders retreated. Their faces were pale. Their souls felt like they were being torn apart. The same went for the monsters. They roared and retreated in fear. Each of them blocked a Xiao clan's elder. The Xiao clan's leader exclaimed, "Illusory sound ninth heaven. You have cultivated the illusory sound melody to such a level?" The other elders were shocked too. The illusory sound melody was divided into many levels. The illusory sound ninth heaven was a level that they dreamed of achieving. However, no one had achieved it. Even the Xiao clan's leader had not achieved it. But now Xiao Mu had achieved it. It was unbelievable. Could this person really be the Xiao clan's genius Xiao Mu from 5,000 years ago? The third elder also stood up. His face was filled with excitement. The seventh elder exclaimed, "Father, you are still alive. This is great. My daughter, I've made you suffer. I'm sorry that I came late." Xiao Mu's face was filled with kindness. Then he raised his head and looked at Xiaoli. His eyes became piercingly cold. Young Master Lin's illusory sound was personally taught to him by me. Do you have any objections? The surrounding crowd was stunned. Even the clan leader of the Xiao clan was speechless. The others were also shocked when they heard the news from their elders. They stared at the figure in disbelief. He was actually someone from 5,000 years ago. Furthermore, he was the strongest genius of the Xiao clan 5,000 years ago. The other party had been missing for 5,000 years, and now he had actually managed to return alive. It was simply too unbelievable. The faces of the people from the Green clan turned ugly. This was very bad news for them. The people of Mountain Sea Palace were also surprised. Elder Ruochen narrowed his eyes. So it was him. He then looked at Lin Xian and smiled. This little guy was actually related to him. No wonder. Lin Xian stood there with a smile on his face. He didn't expect Xiao Mu to come out in the end. Xiao Shiyu, who was at the side, was stunned. Was this person her grandfather who had been missing for a long time? He was actually still alive and he was even related to Lin Xian. She looked at Lin Xian and asked, "Could it be that you were sent by my grandfather?" Lin Xian smiled. "That's right. It was indeed your grandfather who asked me to help you." Xiao Shiyu finally understood why Lin Xian, who was so talented, would help her. It was because of her grandfather. Xiaoli took a deep breath, and a sharp light flashed in his eyes. He shouted coldly, "Xiao Mu, I didn't expect you to still be alive. However, you actually taught the illusory sound to an outsider without permission. How should you be punished?" Xiao Mu, an outsider? Young Master Lin is not an outsider. I intend to betroth my granddaughter to him. By then, he will be part of the Xiao clan. How can he be considered an outsider? What? Xiao Mu's words made the clan leader of the Xiao clan's face turn ugly. Xiao Shiyu was already engaged to someone from the Green clan. How could she be betrothed to someone else? Xiao Mu sneered. My granddaughter, can't she make the decision? Moreover, you only had an agreement. You taught the illusory sound to Qing Chun before he became part of the Xiao clan. How can you give the Xiao clan an explanation? Xiao Li's face turned ugly. It was impossible for him to use the Xiao clan's rules to suppress Xiao Mu. Hence, he could only snort coldly. All right, let's see who will become part of the Xiao clan in the end. He stood up and said loudly, "Everyone, please be a witness. Out of these two young masters, only one can become the son-in-law of the Xiao clan. The other one will be killed mercilessly if he knows the secret of the illusory sound." Everyone was in an uproar. The people from the Green clan frowned. This was not good for them. The clan leader of the Green clan snorted. "This old fox wants us to join forces with him. All right, let's join forces." Xiao Mu's sudden appearance shocked the clan leader of the Green clan. No one knew how much the genius from 5,000 years ago had grown. Moreover, Xiao Mu had a strong appeal. What would happen to the Xiao clan in the future? They did not know. They could only join forces with the clan leader of the Xiao clan. Hence, he quickly sent a message to Qing Chen. On the other side, the clan leader of the Xiao clan said, "Xiao Mu, you don't have any objections, right?" Xiao Mu looked at him and said coldly, "If I remember correctly, you are my junior. Logically speaking, you should call me sixth uncle." "Why? Are you so unruly after becoming the clan leader?" Xiao Li gritted his teeth. However, he could not refute under everyone's gaze. Hence, he gritted his teeth and said, "Sixth uncle, what do you think?" Xiao Mu did not say anything. Instead, he looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded his head. He smiled. "Let's do it." After he finished speaking, he stood in the void and looked down. Everyone looked down at the ground. The atmosphere in the square changed instantly. Previously, it was a competition for rankings. Now it was a competition for life and death. Qing Chen also received his father's message. He was filled with killing intent. He had to kill this kid now. Who do you think will win? Countless people were discussing. It should be young Master Qing Chen. He is a top genius. I don't think so. Since Lin Xian dares to fight, it means that he has full confidence. Maybe he has some trump cards. The people from the Mountain Sea Palace were shocked. Elder Xian Gui's face turned cold. Elder Yan Luo smiled and said, "I said it before. No one can say for sure until the last moment." "Elder Xian Gui, didn't you say that you would win? Why don't you make a promise with me?" Chapter 4595. The other party had recently suppressed a snow fox, which was a spiritual beast of heaven and earth. Elder Xuangui's face turned ugly. To be honest, he wasn't very confident in his heart, but he couldn't afford to lose. Since he had already accepted Qing Chen as his disciple, how could he not trust him? He said, "Okay, if my disciple loses, I'll give you the snow fox that I suppressed." "But what if you lose?" Elder Yan Luo said. "If I lose, I'll give you my ultimate technique, the inescapable net." The people around were also surprised. They looked at the two elders seriously. They were very expectant and looked down. Below, Qing Chen walked up. "Kid, I originally wanted to save some strength to compete for the first place. But since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish in advance." After saying that, his eyes shone with an even more terrifying light. The combat power of the giant demonic statue beside him had increased greatly, and its aura made everyone feel desperate. Countless people exclaimed, "No way!" Young Master Qing Chen was still holding back. "It's over. There's no suspense in this battle." The patriarch of the Green clan raised a smile. How could their number one genius be defeated? Just wait. These people will be desperate. On the side of the Mountain Sea Palace, Elder Xiangui also smiled. "It seems that your inescapable net is mine." Lin Xian shook his head. "You're too arrogant. Do you think you're the only one with a trump card? It's useless to say more. Make your move." Lin Xian had a nonchalant look on his face. His opponent was indeed a top-notch genius, but so what? How many geniuses had died in his hands? "Stupid guy, go to hell." Young Master Qing Chen shouted coldly and activated his eye technique. The giant demonic statue charged over like a mountain. The terrifying power shrouded the entire square. "Oh no, be careful!" Xiao Shiyu exclaimed. Lin Xian waved his hand. He controlled the dragon of destruction to charge forward. To be honest, There was indeed a gap between the Dragon of Destruction and the giant demonic statue. If it was Xiao Shiyu or others, they would definitely lose this battle. But it was not necessarily the case for him. He had too many trump cards in his hand. He didn't need to do it himself. Just controlling the dragon was enough. Under Lin Xian's control, the Destruction Flood Dragon seemed to have transformed into a true dragon, attacking nonstop. Every timing and angle of attack was amazing and hard to imagine. The destructive power on it had been unleashed to the extreme, and it was gradually suppressing the troll statue. Finally, with another slash, the giant demonic elephant was split in half. Qing Chen spat out a mouthful of blood as he was sent flying backwards. He found it hard to believe that the giant devil had wanted to injure him so badly that his soul had also suffered a blow. He fell to the ground and roared at the sky. Damn it, impossible, I don't believe it. Everyone was in an uproar. The Green Clan's people were extremely nervous. Did their number one genius lose? Damn it, why did it turn out like this? The leader of the Green Clan looked gloomy. Impossible. He couldn't believe it. On the other side, the clan leader of the Xiao clan narrowed his eyes. How could this guy's soul power be so strong? His opponent wasn't using the illusory melody at all. He had miscalculated. He had always thought that the reason why Lin Xian could control demonic beasts was because of the illusory melody. But now he realized that he was wrong. Lin Xian knew other soul attacks, and they seemed to be more powerful than the illusory melody. Who exactly was this person? He broke out in cold sweat. Could it be that he was going to attack the Green Clan? The clan leader of the Green Clan suddenly stood up and said coldly, "This fight didn't count." Everyone was in an uproar. The elders of the Xiao clan sneered. Why didn't it count? Did you think that everyone was blind? The clan leader of the Green Clan gritted his teeth. The destruction serpent was suppressed by him, and Xiao Shiyu previously. How could it be counted as his own strength? Moreover, Qin and Xiao Shiyu had fought before. He had also suffered some injuries. That was why he was defeated. Although he won this battle, he didn't use his own strength to win. So, I'm not convinced. Yes, that's right. What the clan leader said made sense. The people of the Xiao clan were also indifferent. I agree. The people of the Myriad Transformation sect stood up and said coldly, if you want to determine the winner, then use your own strength. For example, 2 people should fight alone. Everyone was in an uproar. Although they felt that the Green Clan was despicable, no one dared to say anything. At this moment, the clan leader of the Xiao clan said, "That's right, I agree too." The 7th elder snorted. They had never seen such shameless people. Xiao Mu's face fell. Why? Do you want to cover the sky with your hands? A terrifying aura was emitted from his body. The clan leader of the Xiao clan was pale. The people of the Green Clan snorted. Xiao Mu, although you're a genius from 5,000 years ago, the world has changed. This is not the era of the past. Oh, are you trying to challenge me? Xiao Mu's eyes shone brightly, piercing through the sky. The clan leader of the Green Clan took 2 steps back. He could feel a huge pressure. In the next moment he snorted. If you want to fight, I'll accompany you to the end. Behind him, the experts of the Green Clan stood up. A battle was about to break out. At this moment Lin Xian smiled. Senior, if they want to fight again, I'll grant them their wish. Everyone turned around. Xiao Mu frowned. Young Master Lin, the outcome of this battle has been decided. There's no need to continue. Lin Xian said. If you don't defend yourself, let them accept their defeat. Didn't you say that I borrowed the power of the Destruction Flood Dragon? Next, I'll fight him alone. I won't use any beast's power. He can use it as he pleases. Moreover, I'll give him time to recover to his peak state. Then we'll fight again. Everyone was stunned. Is this kid crazy? This is obviously disadvantageous to him. The clan leader of the Green Clan sneered. Kid, what are you trying to do? He didn't believe that Lin Xian would be so kind. Lin Xian said, I can agree to all your conditions. However, I have one condition. That is, the next battle will be a battle of life and death. Do you dare? A battle of life and death? This kid wants to fight Qingchen to the death? Everyone was shocked. The elders of the Green Clan were also in an uproar. Where did this guy get his confidence from? The clan leader of the Green Clan said, Qingchen is a beast tamer. He won't fight you alone. If he wants to fight you, he'll use his beast. Can you accept this? Lin Xian said, It's okay. As long as he can control the beast, it's his power. Okay, I'll fight you. The clan leader of the Green Clan shouted. He really had no reason to refuse. Although his opponent's body was tough, his son Qingchen could control many beasts. In this way, he would definitely have the upper hand. On the Xiao clan's side, the seventh elder said, No, you'll be in danger. Lin Xian smiled. Senior, don't worry. I'm confident. Now, I'll give him time to recover. Chapter 4596. Lin Xian looked at Xiao Shiyu and said, Come on, let's continue with the competition. I'll help you reach the top. Xiao Shiyu was stunned. Mr. Lin, aren't you going to recover? In her opinion, Lin Xian had also used up a lot of energy. He should also need to recover. Otherwise, he would be at a disadvantage. Lin Xian said, No need. I don't care about this competition. Let's continue with the other beast tamers. The people around were stunned. What was this guy doing? Did he really have a super strong trump card? Or was he an idiot? Father, the seventh elder looked at Xiao Mu. Xiao Mu smiled. Daughter, don't worry. Mr. Lin's strength is not something you can imagine. He was looking forward to the next competition. Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu controlled the destruction Jiao dragon to look forward. The beast tamers and beast tamers around all stepped back. There were only 3 figures standing there. Lin Xian had defeated Qingchen, and the others were no match for him. Only the other 3 geniuses who were as famous as Qingchen could compete with him. Come on, Lin Xian looked at Mu Linfeng. Mu Linfeng walked out. In front of him, the King Kong ape was also roaring at the sky. Its terrifying energy covered the sky and the earth. Behind it, the destruction Jiao dragon flew out, and the two fought. It was like an Archean divine beast was fighting. Terrifying laws spread. It was a shocking battle. In the end, the destruction Jiao dragon won. The King Kong ape's body was penetrated, and it fell to the ground. Mu Linfeng's soul was injured. His face was pale. He gritted his teeth and said, You won this battle. The crowd was in an uproar again. He was too strong. After Qingchen, Mu Linfeng of the 4 top geniuses was also defeated. There were only 2 left. Guyu and Hanqiu. Could these 2 stop him? If he couldn't stop them, would he have to let Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu reach the peak? Thank you, Lin Xian said calmly. Then he continued to look around and stared at Hanqiu. Xiao Shiyu was agitated. She was a genius, but she couldn't imagine such a scene because there was still a huge gap between her and Qingchen and the rest. It would take a long time to catch up with these people. But now, with Lin Xian's help, these people were defeated by her. Up ahead, Hanqiu laughed. Young Master Lin's strength is truly shocking. I admit defeat. Everyone was stunned. They did not expect Hanqiu to directly admit defeat. But thinking about it, although Hanqiu's strength was strong, he was not stronger than Mu Linfeng and Qingchen. These 2 people had been defeated. The possibility of Hanqiu's defeat was very high. Moreover, one's soul would be injured afterwards, which would be very disadvantageous for one's future ranking. She was a very smart woman. Lin Xian smiled and looked at the last person. It was Guyu. This person was much stronger than the others. He was a 3-soul beast tamer. He was also the most powerful enemy. Guyu felt Lin Xian's gaze and turned his head as well. A terrifying soul aura exploded from his eyes. Their souls clashed in the air, tearing the 9 heavens apart. Come on, let me see how powerful you are. Xiao Shiyu said, Do you want to fight one-on-one with young Master Lin? Then I can leave. Guyu shook his head. No need. Both of you can fight together. Because I have 2 souls. A terrifying aura exploded from his soul again, sweeping across everything. Xiao Shiyu was stunned. No wonder this person did not need help. He had 2 souls. In this way, she did not retreat. All right, let's fight together. Everyone had an assistant. In the previous battles, they had fought together with their assistants. So now that Guyu had displayed 2 souls, Xiao Shiyu naturally could not leave. The Battle of the Pinnacle had begun. Everyone was nervous. The outcome of this battle would determine who would be the champion of the Mountain Sea Beast fighters. The people from the Xiao clan were also shocked. They did not expect Xiao Shiyu to be able to reach this stage. Even if she lost, she would be in second place. That was enough to be proud of. Guyu was controlling a strange tiger. The flames on its body were terrifying. An earth-shattering roar was heard. The terrifying flames rushed over and attacked the destruction serpent. The destruction serpent flew and dodged quickly. At the same time, it unleashed an aura of destruction. The terrifying law of destruction kept shaking. Boom! After one attack, the two turned into lightning and clashed in the air. It was really a fierce battle. The people around were shouting excitedly. The elders of the Mountain Sea Palace nodded their heads. Too strong. Guyu's two souls were indeed terrifying. His control was too strong. This guy might become a six-soul beast tamer in the future. That Lin Xian was even stronger. He was bearing most of the pressure. Discussions broke out one after another. In front, the strange tiger roared. Its voice shook the 9 heavens. Its eyes were filled with killing intent. It kept running in the air, forming a strange law. A pair of flame wings spread out on its back. Its speed was extremely fast. The entire world began to tremble. The destruction serpent was surrounded by a sea of fire. The scales on its body kept making clanging sounds. The flames were burning its power. The destruction serpent roared. Its eyes were filled with a terrifying light of destruction. A destruction blade appeared in the air. Buzz! The blade slashed out. Everyone exclaimed. This blade had once split the giant demonic statue. It was the destruction serpent's bloodline superpower. What was surprising was that the strange tiger was extraordinary. It flapped its wings and dodged the blade. It was too strong. It was a battle between the top. Everyone was excited. Such a battle was rare among the younger generation. Mu Lingfeng looked at the scene and smiled bitterly. It was not a shame to lose. Han Qiu also said that Lin Xian was right. Only Guyu could compete with Lin Xian. However, Guyu obviously did not use all his power. His two souls should have other effects. Sure enough, after dodging the destruction blade, the strange tiger roared in the distance. It did not attack immediately. Guyu walked up and stood on the strange tiger. He said coldly, "You are indeed strong. I may not be able to defeat you even if we continue fighting." As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people were also stunned. What was going on? Was Guyu going to admit defeat? However, they soon found that it was not the case. Guyu said, "So I am going to be serious. Be careful." After speaking, his eyes suddenly shone with a terrifying light. He charged to the other side. In the sky, a demon beast roared. It was a breeze sparrow. It was also an extremely terrifying demon beast. Its strength was not weaker than the giant demonic statue. At this moment, it was controlled by Guyu. It charged over crazily. At the same time, the strange tiger attacked again. Everyone was shocked. No way. This guy was so strong. It was normal for a beast tamer to control many demon beasts to fight at the same time. However, it depended on what level they were at. The strange tiger and the Qingfeng sparrow were at the same level. It was already very impressive for the younger generation to be able to control one, not to mention two at the same time. This was simply unimaginable. Chapter 4597. The breezy sparrow tore the body of the destruction flood dragon apart like a wind blade. The flames of the strange tiger forced the destruction flood dragon to retreat. In an instant, the destruction flood dragon was completely suppressed and heavily injured. Xiao Shiyu's face turned pale as she felt the impact of the soul attack. Oh no, this guy is so terrifying. She used all her strength to perform the melody of phantasmal sound to stabilize the destruction flood dragon. She looked anxious as she did not know what to do. Lin Xian said, "You stabilize the destruction flood dragon and leave the rest to me." "All right." Xiao Shiyu nodded and used all her strength to control the destruction flood dragon. Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the breezy sparrow. A golden light appeared in his eyes as he attacked with his soul attack. The heavenly secret divine eyes were so powerful that the breezy sparrow roared again. He did not attack the destruction flood dragon, but turned around to grab the strange tiger. He sent the strange tiger flying. Seeing this scene, the people who were watching the battle from afar were shocked. What was going on? Was the breezy sparrow crazy? Or did Guyu fail to control the breezy sparrow? No, it was Lin Xian who forcefully controlled the breezy sparrow. The elders of the Mountain Sea Palace all stood up in shock. They looked at Lin Xian and nodded their heads continuously. Lin Xian was a top-notch genius in ocular sorcery, and he was also a soul expert. Elder Ruochan's eyes also shone brightly. What a terrifying eye. It was a bloodline eye technique. The strange tiger was sent flying and cracks appeared on its body. Guyu also frowned. He also felt the impact of the soul attack. It was able to seize control of his soul attack. He harumphed coldly. He controlled the strange tiger to attack continuously while he charged toward the green peak sparrow with his other hand. He wanted to take back control of the breezy sparrow. Their souls kept attacking the breezy sparrow's mind. Guyu's face darkened. He realized that he could not take back control. Damn it, his opponent's eye technique was so powerful. He roared and stopped controlling the strange tiger. His two souls attacked together and attacked the breezy sparrow. He did not believe that his two souls would not be able to win against his opponent. Lin Xian also felt a pressure. So strong. His dual souls were indeed extraordinary. His heavenly secret divine eyes were not something his opponent could have imagined. The heavenly secret map in his eyes shone brightly. At this moment, the breeze sparrow's soul could no longer withstand the pressure and fell from the sky. Had he fallen? Everyone in the distance was dumbfounded. What a great battle! A terrifying demonic beast was actually killed. Damn it. Guyu gritted his teeth. Was he going to lose to the other party? He couldn't stand it. He had never taken anyone seriously. Even Qing Chun and Mu Lingfeng were nothing to him. Now that Lin Xian had appeared, he felt even more pressured. He roared angrily and searched for other demonic beasts to control. This time, he wanted to control 3 demonic beasts. His terrifying soul force covered the sky. The surrounding demonic beasts all roared uneasily. The destruction flood dragon was also retreating in defeat. Xiao Shiyu's face was pale. Too strong. She couldn't block it at all. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You want to fight? I'll accompany you to the end. He raised his head and looked at the sky. His golden eyes were like the eyes of a god, looking at the 9 heavens. Suddenly, a roar was heard. A golden figure appeared in the sky and charged over. The moment he appeared, the surrounding demonic beasts immediately prostrated themselves on the ground. Even the strange tiger quickly retreated. Guyu felt a chill down his spine and immediately retreated. The others were stunned. The golden figure was actually the metal spirit beast. It couldn't be. This was a Saint King advanced stage. This kid could actually control it? The people from Shanghai Coco were also stunned. Elder Xiangui and the others were all dumbfounded. Even a 3-soul beast tamer wouldn't be able to control such an existence. This kid's eye technique, what level had it reached? I admit defeat. Guyu sighed. He wasn't a match for Lin Xian. He didn't expect someone in Shanghai City to surpass him. He even felt that Lin Xian was unfathomable. Guyu admitted defeat. Countless people exclaimed. Everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe it. This was the genius who had the highest chance of becoming number 1. Now that he admitted defeat, wouldn't it mean that Lin Xian and Xiao Xiu were number 1? It was too unbelievable. Previously, they had thought of many possibilities, but this wasn't one of them. Great, I'm not dreaming, right? The people from Xiao Clan were so excited that they were about to cry. The people from Green Clan gritted their teeth. Damn it, this kid's strength and talent were way above theirs. How confident were they in the next round? Damn kid, you dare to control me? At this moment, a roar shook the heavens. The metal spirit beast regained his senses. A pair of cold eyes stared at Lin Xian. He was furious. He didn't pay attention to the previous battles. Moreover, he didn't think that anyone could control him. Hence he was careless and was controlled by Lin Xian. He gritted his teeth in anger. Lin Xian laughed. I'm just borrowing your strength. Don't be so petty. Damn kid, he slapped his claw over. However, Lin Xian dodged instantly. Do you want to fight? A golden glow appeared in his eyes. Xiaomu, who was in the sky, shouted. Metal spirit beast, scram. The terrifying heavenly sound rushed over. The metal spirit beast was so scared that his scalp went numb. He soared into the sky and looked at Xiaomu in horror. This person was too strong. He could probably control him in an instant. Without the threat of the metal spirit beast, Lin Xian looked around and said coldly, "Who else wants to challenge me?" The surrounding people were silent. What a joke. So many geniuses were no match for you. Who would dare to challenge you? Seeing that no one dared to answer, Lin Xian turned to the Mountain Sea Palace and said, "Seniors of the Mountain Sea Palace, I still have a life and death battle. I wonder if you can announce the first place in advance? I think that no one can challenge us." The people of the Mountain Sea Palace also took a deep breath. They quickly discussed. Not long after, Elder Qi Ling walked over and said loudly, "All right, the rules are changed this time. We will announce the first place in advance." This time, the first place of the Mountain Sea Beast battles was Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu. They would obtain supreme glory and the seal of life and death. Both of them were qualified to enter the Mountain Sea Palace and become its members. At the same time, they would receive the protection of the Mountain Sea Palace. In Shanghai City, whoever dares to make a move on them would be an enemy of the Mountain Sea Palace. Countless people were in an uproar. Many envious gazes looked over. These two people had everything, be it status, glory, mystic arts, absolute arts, or safety. Great, they succeeded. We finally succeeded. The people of the Shao clan cheered. This was their most glorious moment. The leader of the Shao clan gritted his teeth. Damn it, they couldn't do anything to Xiao Shiyu now. The people of the Green clan also had ugly expressions. They were afraid that this marriage would be difficult to proceed. They didn't dare to resist. The Mountain Sea Palace. It was all because of this despicable kid. They stared at Lin Xian with killing intent in their eyes. Qing Chen also stood up and said, "Father, don't worry. I will kill him now." He was really mad. This was his glory, but it was snatched away by someone else. Chapter 4598. Chen, or have you recovered to your peak? Qing Chen nodded. Clan leader Qing said, "Good. Then get ready." After that, he stood up and said loudly, "Winning first place in the Mountain Sea Fighting Beast competition is probably the greatest glory of your life. Because next you will go to hell." Clan leader Qing's voice spread in all directions. Everyone quieted down. They knew that there was a life and death battle waiting for Lin Xian. Whether or not Lin Xian could enjoy the supreme glory and noble status would depend on whether or not he could survive the battle of life and death. Have you recovered? Then bring it on. Lin Xian didn't care. Clan leader Qing looked at the people of Mountain Sea Palace. They said, "Elder of Mountain Sea Palace, I have a request. I don't want anyone to disturb this life and death battle. Therefore, I hope that the Mountain Sea Fighting Beast competition will be temporarily suspended, and another arena will be open for the life and death battle. There will only be 2 people in this space, no other demonic beasts or humans." Everyone was in an uproar. On the Shao clan's side, the 7th elder gritted his teeth. This is despicable. They must have seen that young Master Lin could control the golden spirit beast, so they were worried about controlling it during the life and death battle. If that was the case, young Master Lin would be in danger. Xiao Shiyu's face turned pale as she looked at Mountain Sea Palace. "Let's plead together and ask him to reject this request." Lin Xian said, "It doesn't matter. Just tell me what you want. Do I need to use demonic beasts to kill them? Are you kidding me? Soon these people will know my true strength." The people of Mountain Sea Palace looked at Lin Xian and said, "What do you have to say about this?" Lin Xian said, "Nothing. I also want to open up an independent space. I don't want this battle to affect others." "All right, let's begin then." Those experts opened up another space in the square. There was no one in that space. Only Lin Xian and Qing Chen could enter. The others also stopped fighting. Instead, they were all watching the battle to the death. Qing Chen walked in and sneered. "Kid, I didn't expect you to get first place. But you're about to die. This is my glory. I'll be valued by Mountain Sea Palace after I kill you. I am the only genius. Xiao Shiyu is also mine, and you can only go to hell." After saying this, he waved his hand as his eyes emitted a brilliant glow. Countless beasts appeared around him, blotting out the sky and covering the earth. These demonic beasts ranged from sages to sage kings. This time, he was going to go all out and not let go of any opportunity. Too strong. Countless people looked at this scene in shock. Individually, these demonic beasts were no match for the demonic tiger and the giant devil, but together, they were a terrifying force. Moreover, this was enough to show that Qing Chen's soul pupil technique was extremely terrifying. To be able to control so many demonic beasts at the same time was simply a rare genius. More importantly, the leading demon beast was a crimson blood demon wolf. This was a demonic beast at the middle stage of the Saint King realm. It was no weaker than the strange tiger and the giant demon. Everyone knew that they were really going all out. Brat, I'll make sure you die a horrible death. Qing Chen looked at Lin Xian and revealed a cruel smile. However, Lin Xian laughed and said, "You are too naive. In my eyes, you will always be an ant, no matter how many demonic beasts you control. You are still arrogant in the face of death." Qing Chen waved his hand, and the eye of the blade quickly attacked. The surrounding demonic beasts all roared and rushed out. They enveloped Lin Xian in an overwhelming manner. On the other hand, Lin Xian struck out a blow. His golden palm carried the 9 suns' divine fire, vast and mighty. Under the palm, cracks appeared on the bodies of the surrounding demonic beasts before they shattered into pieces. The sky was filled with a bloody mist. Lin Xian's figure was like a god-fiend. The surrounding people were horrified. He was too strong. Damn it, kill him. Qing Chen urged the crimson blood demon wolf. The crimson blood demon wolf roared, and turned into a blood-colored lightning, charging forward. This was the strongest attack. Everyone was watching nervously. However, Lin Xian was calm and composed. He formed a seal with his palm, the man-ruler seal, and slapped out like a heavenly king. The attack was aimed at the crimson blood demon wolf. The crimson blood demon wolf was horrified. At the last moment he retreated, because he felt a fatal crisis. However, it was too late. After the attack, his body was torn into pieces. Was he dead? The terrifying crimson blood demon wolf couldn't even block a single attack from Lin Xian. This person was too strong. He didn't even use his full strength before. Everyone was horrified. They knew that they had underestimated Lin Xian. The people of the Green Clan stood up abruptly, gritting their teeth. Damn it, how could this be? The terrifying demonic beasts could kill any expert, but they couldn't do anything to Lin Xian? This guy was like a god of war. The people of the Xiao clan were also shocked. Lin Xian looked forward and said indifferently, "See, you don't deserve to be my opponent. What other secret techniques do you have? Show them." How could this be? Qing Chen was horrified. The demonic beasts that he took out previously were all the demonic beasts that he could control. He thought that he could easily kill Lin Xian. But now he was in despair. Even if Lin Xian didn't control the demonic beasts, his strength alone was unparalleled. Feeling Lin Xian's gaze, Qing Chen gritted his teeth. "Kid, just you wait. This isn't over." He turned around and wanted to leave. Chapter 45-99. The 2 elders of the Green Clan shouted angrily, "You're courting death." The 2 of them attacked Lin Xian with shocking attacks. "Not good," Xiao Shiyu exclaimed. She was about to faint. Xiao Mu's eyes were filled with killing intent. "You dare to attack?" Boom. There was an earth-shattering sound. Everything was too late. "Not good." Xiao Mu's expression changed. These were the 2 elders of the Green Clan. The others also exclaimed. Could it be that this kid was going to die? Was he going to die? The clan leader of the Xiao clan revealed a sinister smile. It was great that such a great enemy had died. Even though he would feel numb after this. The void in front of them was shattered. The morning fog spread and 3 figures appeared. Lin Xian stood there with 2 palms on his body. The golden light on his body formed a strange rune. It was like the sun shining in all directions. 2 palms landed on his body, but there wasn't a single crack on his body. How could it be? The 2 elders of the Green Clan were stunned. They were about to reach the late stage of the Saint King realm. Their full strength attack was comparable to that of a late-stage Saint King realm. No matter how strong this kid was, he wouldn't be able to block it. But now, what was going on? They felt as if they had hit a mountain. They didn't seem to be able to break through the other party's defense. The surrounding people were also stunned. Xiao Xiyu and the rest heaved a sigh of relief. Great, nothing happened. Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the two elders. His eyes were filled with cold light. This was a life-and-death battle between me and him. How dare you attack me? How dare you attack me? You deserve to die. He raised his hands and formed a seal. His royal seal slammed towards the two elders. The two elders' pupils constricted. Not good. They quickly retreated. Vines flew out from one of them. The other formed a spiritual shield to block the attack. Boom. 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 There was an earth-shattering sound. The two elders' bodies split open and turned into a bloody mist. Until their deaths, they couldn't believe that the other party could kill them so easily. The surrounding people were stunned. They couldn't believe it. These were two elders, and they were extremely powerful existences in the middle stage of the Saint King realm. Yet they had been killed in a single move. The people from the Green Clan were also stunned, and then they quickly retreated. Previously, they had also come to help, but they were not as fast as the two elders. At this moment, they were frantically fleeing. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian sneered. Since you're here, don't leave. With a flick of his wrist, several streaks of sword chi flew out, and like massive dragons, they enveloped the group. The bodies of the three people split open and fell from the sky. Damn it, how dare you? The leader of the Green Clan roared and rushed over. His palm seemed to have transformed into a world of its own, carrying with it a terrifying aura. Lin Xian frowned. The clan leader's strength was extremely terrifying. He had reached the peak of the Saint King stage. At that moment, Elder Ruochen snorted coldly. A demonic beast flew out from his demonic beast pouch. He turned into a bolt of lightning and charged over. It was a lightning eagle, which directly sent the patriarch of the Green Clan flying. Elder Ruochen flew over and stood on the lightning eagle. He said coldly, "How dare you attack him? He's the champion of the Mountain Sea Trials, and the Mountain Sea Palace will protect him. Do you want to be enemies with the Mountain Sea Palace?" The patriarch of the Green Clan had just stabilized himself, and when he heard this, he spat out a mouthful of blood. He was really mad. His son was killed in front of everyone, and he had lost several elders, but he could not attack Lin Xian anymore. "I'm asking you a question. Don't you understand?" Elder Ruochen shouted coldly. The patriarch of the Green Clan gritted his teeth and said, "I don't dare to." After saying that, he seemed to have aged 1,000 years. He turned around and said to the people of the Green Clan, "Let's go." He could not stay here any longer, or he would be angered to death. Looking at the back view of the Green Clan, everyone was stunned. No one had expected that the arrogant Green Clan would end up like this. How was that possible? The patriarch of the Xiao clan could not believe it, and the uncle of the Xiao clan was also terrified. This kid was actually so powerful. He had wanted to kill Lin Xian several times before, but now it seemed that Lin Xian could easily kill him. Alright, now that the matter of the Green Clan was settled, it was time to settle the matter of the Xiao clan. Xiao Mu descended from the sky and looked at the patriarch of the Xiao clan. As the patriarch of the Xiao clan, you did not take the Xiao clan seriously, and even violated the rules of the Xiao clan. How should you be punished? The patriarch of the Xiao clan felt his scalp go numb, and the great elder shouted coldly. Xiao Mu could not attack him. He was the patriarch, and even if he was wrong, he had to be punished by the old ancestor. Now that the old ancestor was in a deep sleep, he could not. Before the patriarch could finish, Xiao Mu slapped him with his palm, and the great elder was turned into a bloody mist. Even his soul did not escape. "Do you have the right to talk to me?" The people of the Xiao clan felt their scalps go numb, and the patriarch of the Xiao clan knelt on the ground. The patriarch of the Xiao clan gritted his teeth and said, "What do you want?" "What do I want?" Xiao Mu snorted, and his eyes shone with a cold light. After saying that, he attacked and killed the patriarch of the Xiao clan with a soul sword. Then, he charged towards the patriarch of the Xiao clan. Xiao Li roared, "Don't you go too far." He counterattacked aggressively, summoning a few powerful demonic beasts that swept across the sky. The two of them engaged in a terrifying battle, and the surrounding people retreated. However, no matter how powerful Xiao Li was, he was no match for Xiao Mu. After 100 moves, he was defeated, and his body was covered in blood. He gritted his teeth and roared, "Damn it, I can't accept this." Soon after, his soul was also destroyed by Xiao Mu. Everyone was silent. At this moment, the third elder shouted at Xiao Mu, "Sixth uncle, I hope you can be the patriarch of the Xiao clan." "Yes, that's right. Pay your respects to the new patriarch." The other elders also bowed one after another. Xiao Mu stood there. "All right, I'll take over the Xiao clan." Initially, he did not want to care about anything, but seeing the Xiao clan in such a state, he was afraid that the clan would decline if this continued. He had to step up. Among the crowd, the first uncle knelt on the ground and shouted, "Old ancestor, please don't kill me, please spare my life. Xiao Yu, give me a chance. Seventh elder, help me beg for mercy." He was really frightened. Xiao Yu frowned, but the seventh elder sneered, "Give you a chance? You wanted to kill us before." The first uncle was in despair. He knew that even the patriarch had fallen, and there was no way he could survive. He begged, "Please let my daughter go." Xiao Mu said coldly, "Don't worry, I'll let her go, but you'll have to find out for yourself." The first uncle gritted his teeth, and his soul burned, disappearing from the world. Looking at the fallen body of the other party, everyone closed their eyes. This guy had courted his own death. As for Xiao Yu, although she was arrogant, she was talented. With Xiao Mu's help, her memory was erased. This way, the other party would not seek revenge, and would work hard for the Xiao clan in the future. The moment Xiao Mu came out, he showed his ruthless methods and reorganized the Xiao clan. The other clans and sects also came to congratulate Xiao Mu on his return. There were also some sects that wanted to cooperate with the Xiao clan. After all, Xiao Shiyu was the number one now, and she was favored by the Mountain Sea Palace. With Xiao Mu's return, the strength of the Xiao clan would definitely increase by leaps and bounds. Chapter 4600. Cooperating with the Xiao clan was the wisest choice at this time. Of course, most of them wanted to invite Lin Xian. After this battle, they could see that Lin Xian's talent and strength were far above the geniuses of the Mountain Sea Palace. It was unbelievable. Lin Xian rejected these requests, saying that inviting him was the same as inviting Xiao Yu. So they turned to invite the Xiao clan. Meanwhile, the elders of the Mountain Sea Palace walked over to them. Then, the Black Tortoise elder sighed. He also seemed to have aged many years. His own disciple was actually killed by someone else. Elder Yen Luo smiled and said, "Looks like your snow fox is mine." Elder Black Turtle said, "I'll give it to you. From now on I'll go into seclusion and won't come out for 100 years. After saying that, he turned and left. On the other side, Elder Yen Luo was very happy. She came to Xiao Yu to take her as her disciple. She was a 5-soul beast tamer. Xiao Yu was naturally happy. She immediately took her as her disciple. Everyone congratulated her again. Then the elders came to Lin Xian's side. Elder Ruochen personally offered Lin Xian an olive branch, hoping that he would take Lin Xian as his disciple. However, Lin Xian rejected. He said, "Seniors, I'm sorry, but I won't be staying here for long. Please forgive me." The elders and geniuses of the beast tamer clans almost vomited blood after hearing that. They dreamed of entering the Mountain Sea Palace, but they were rejected by this kid. How could there be such a big gap between them? The elders of the Mountain Sea Palace were also stunned. This was probably the first person to reject them. Elder Ruochen smiled bitterly. "You little guy, forget it. But you can come to the Mountain Sea Palace as a guest." "Of course." Lin Xian smiled and said, "Thank you for your understanding." On the other side, Xiao Shiyu also arrived in front of Xiao Mu and began to greet her grandfather. Xiao Mu liked Xiao Yu very much and kept nodding. The family was reunited. The seventh elder was very excited. She came to Lin Xian to express her gratitude. If it weren't for Lin Xian, all of this would have been a dream. And now it had been successfully realized. Xiao Mu said, "Young Master Lin, the proposal from before won't change. What do you think? Are you willing to marry me, your granddaughter?" The seventh elder also nodded. She was very satisfied. Xiao Shiyu's little face blushed. She blushed and ran away. Lin Xian was also stunned. Then he said, Elder Xiao, you know that I still have some things to do. Speaking up to hear. A piercing cold appeared in his eyes. Xiao Mu said, All right, I don't care about the matters of you young people. I'm just giving you an opinion. As for what you want to do, it's up to you. When the time comes, I might be able to help you with the things you mentioned. Really? Lin Xian was surprised. Xiao Mu said, Naturally, you let me regain control of the Xiao clan and helped my granddaughter successfully enter the Mountain Sea Palace. How could I not help you with such a big favor? No matter what you do, even if you have to go through fire and water, I will not hesitate. All right, then I won't hold back. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. With such a top beast tamer, his following actions would be much more convenient. Next, the competition continued. Because the first place had been decided, the other rankings had not yet been decided. Therefore, Lin Xian returned to the spectator stand and continued to watch the competition. Finally, all the competitions ended. The second place was Gu Yu, the third place was Mu Lingfeng, and the fourth place was Han Qiu. Countless people began to congratulate them. The beast tamer clans also heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, other than Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu, the rest of the competition went on as usual. Next, Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu once again stood in the most glorious place, receiving the envy and worship of countless people. The Mountain Sea Palace elder walked over and gave each of them a token. This was the Mountain Sea token. In the entire Shanghai city, they would be protected by the Mountain Sea Palace. At the same time, they began to give out the prizes. Lin Xian and the others were even invited to enter the Mountain Sea Palace to cultivate. At the same time, those who ranked in the top 10 were also qualified to enter. Soon Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu followed Elder Ruochen and left the square for the Mountain Sea Palace. The Mountain Sea Palace was even more majestic. After Lin Xian entered, he received the seal of life and death. He and Xiao Shiyu both entered secret rooms and began to cultivate. Lin Xian had an ancient seal on his hand. His face emitted a terrifying aura of life and death. His eyes shone with golden light. He began to comprehend the seal of life and death. The seal of life and death was a powerful soul superpower. It was used to control the life and death of people. For the beast tamer clans, it was a supreme treasure. Lin Xian also needed it, because he would control many powerful beasts and then return to the Misty Peak to save his friends. The Misty Peak and the 6 Great Caves. Just wait. He would be back soon. A year later, Lin Xian came out of seclusion. After coming out, his eyes had an even more terrifying aura. This time he had mastered the seal of life and death. This terrifying cultivation speed shocked the elders of the Mountain Sea Palace even more. It should be known that even a top genius could not master a superpower like the seal of life and death so quickly. Elder Ruochen was even more determined. Lin Xian had a pair of unique eyes. Indeed, with the heavenly secret divine eyes, all soul superpowers became simple for Lin Xian. Otherwise, Lin Xian spent another half a year cultivating the melody of phantom sound. Then he took out the heavenly secret eye that Xiao Mu gave him, and continued to comprehend. This made his heavenly secret divine powers stronger again. In the next half a year, Lin Xian continued to stay in the Mountain Sea Palace. He asked Elder Ruochen to let him view other soul secret techniques. Elder Ruochen was very surprised by Lin Xian's talent. He thought that Lin Xian would be unparalleled in the future. The Mountain Sea Palace naturally wanted to befriend such a genius. Therefore, they made an exception and let Lin Xian view many soul superpowers and secret techniques. This time, it actually took him another year of time. Lin Xian's heavenly secret divine eyes were now filled with endless mysteries. After integrating these soul secret techniques, Lin Xian's understanding of the soul secret technique increased to another level. Lin Xian felt that it was about time to go back. So on this day, he stood up and went to Elder Ruochen to explain his intention. Elder Ruochen said, "Okay, if you have something to do, I won't stop you. But if you have nothing to do in the future, you must come back to the Mountain Sea Palace often." Then, Lin Xian went to find Xiao Shiyu and said a few words. Xiao Shiyu's eyes instantly turned red. She said, "I will go with you." Lin Xian said, "There will be a very fierce battle when I go back this time. When the time comes, it will be a life and death crisis. You should stay here and cultivate. Don't worry, I will be fine. Besides, you just got a new master. You should hurry up and learn. When I come back, I hope you will be a 3-soul beast tamer. Okay, you said it. When I become a 3-soul beast tamer, you must come back. Chapter 4601. Of course, why would I lie to you? Lin Xian smiled and left the Mountain Sea Palace. He returned to the Xiao clan. The Xiao clan welcomed him with the highest standard. Xiaomu came personally. Young Master Lin, you're finally here. Now that he had regained control of the Xiao clan, he was in high spirits. He was no longer as desolate as before. Lin Xian came over and explained his intentions. Xiaomu said, "All right, I'll go with you, but give me 10 days to make the arrangements." For the next few days, Lin Xian stayed in the Xiao clan. When Xiao Shiyu heard the news, she returned to the clan to accompany Lin Xian. Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu strolled around. When he saw the willow catkins, he was shocked again. Xiao Shiyu, what was that? When he first came here, he saw the catkins. It seemed to be a powerful array. Xiao Shiyu said, "This is the guardian of our Xiao clan. It's a willow tree that has been in our clan for a long time. It has become a great sage. This willow catkin flies around the Xiao clan to protect our clan." Then, Xiao Shiyu led Lin Xian through the pavilion and walked towards the depths of the Xiao clan. Finally, he saw an old willow tree. It was shining with a holy radiance. The 7 stars of the great sage surrounded it. Lin Xian looked at it from afar and was shocked. It seemed like the Xiao clan was stronger than he had imagined. They had a sage. And he heard that there was a true sage who was in a deep slumber. Xiao Shiyu said, "Other than our Xiao clan, the other top clans also have such guardians. They are all at the level of the great sage." The great sage. Lin Xian looked forward to it. He didn't know when he could reach this level. Let's go. In the evening, the two of them returned. For the next few days, the two of them stayed together. On this day, Xiaomu walked over and said, "Young Master Lin, it's done." "Oh, is that so?" Lin Xian took a deep breath. "All right, I'll prepare to leave." Xiao Shiyu's eyes turned red again. Lin Xian said, "Don't worry, I'll be back." Xiao Shiyu nodded. Xiaomu also took out 3 willow branches. He took one and gave the other 2 to Lin Xian and Xiao Shiyu. "What is this?" Lin Xian was surprised. He could feel a powerful life force from it, as well as a terrifying law. Xiao Shiyu was also surprised. This was the guardian deity's willow branch. Xiaomu nodded. That's right, this was the guardian deity's willow branch. These 2 willow branches can be used for self-defense. Lin Xian was overjoyed. He now had another trump card. He carefully kept the willow branch and waved goodbye to Xiao Shiyu. He and Xiaomu soared into the air and left the Xiao residence. The two of them prepared to head to the 100,000 forest and the Black Sea to subdue some demonic beasts. Then he left. This time they had to be well prepared. At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard from afar. Lin Xian's eyes shone brightly as he looked into the distance, revealing a look of surprise. Xiaomu stopped. It was actually him. A figure flew over from afar. He had a handsome face. He strode over. It was Lone Munyu. "What do you want?" Lin Xian asked curiously. "Do you still want to compete?" Gu Yu shook his head. "I'm currently not your opponent. Moreover, you already have the seal of life and death. I've never lost to anyone before. This time, I lost to you. Moreover, I lost to you wholeheartedly. Therefore, I want to follow you for a period of time." "Follow?" Lin Xian was surprised. Then he said, "I'm afraid that's not possible. Now, I have to leave Shanghai City to complete a very important matter." "It's nothing. I can leave too. Anyway, I can cultivate anywhere. You won't regret it? If I do this, it will be very dangerous. I might have to fight with many top sections." Guyu was also surprised. This kid actually had such an idea. Was he going to fight with the sect alone? But soon he smiled. "No wonder I'm not as good as you. Since you have such confidence, then all the more I should follow you. Also, I think you should know my talent. Although I'm not as good as you, I'm still a top expert. I think I should be able to help by your side. Moreover, we beast tamers can control tens of thousands of beasts. There was once a top beast tamer who took down a sect alone. This was not wrong. If it was an extremely terrifying beast tamer, such as the one in Shanghai Palace, who could control the great sage and bring tens of thousands of beasts, they could definitely wipe out a sect. A truly powerful beast tamer was simply too terrifying. Alright, since that's the case, then you can join us. Welcome. Lin Xian smiled. Guyu also smiled. Then, the three of them set off towards the 100,000 mountains. Lin Xian said that previously in the 100,000 mountains, he met an ice fire swan. This time, he was prepared to subdue it. Xiaomu said, "Alright, I'll also subdue a few top-level beasts." On the other side, Lonmun also acted alone. The three of them agreed to meet here in a month. Then Lin Xian flew towards the depths of the 100,000 mountains. Not long after, he felt terrifying ice and flames spreading in front of him. The corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. That should be the territory of the ice fire swan. Buzz. He flew over and tore apart the laws of ice and fire. He said coldly, "Ice fire swan, get out here." In the distance, terrifying flames swept across and terrifying ice spread. A huge creature walked over. The world was trembling. Its huge wings spread out, causing half of the sky to freeze and the other half to be like fire. The beasts in the surrounding area knelt down and submitted. The ice fire swan shouted coldly, "Who is it? How dare you disturb my rest?" His gaze pierced through the world. When he saw Lin Xian, he was instantly furious. Damn human brat, it's actually you. How could he not know him? Last time, he was the one who behaved atrociously. He didn't expect him to come back now. "Why, are you here to die?" Lin Xian said. "I'll give you a chance. If you obediently submit to me now, you'll suffer a lot less." "Subdue me? Ha 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 ha. A mere beast tamer wants to challenge me? You're courting death. You're only at the early stage of the sacred king realm. What do you have to fight me?" The ice fire swan sneered. With a flap of his wings, flames filled the sky and enveloped Lin Xian. Stupid ant. In his opinion, this attack was enough to kill the other party. Unexpectedly, Lin Xian was not injured at all. Instead, he made a strong move. A huge golden hand descended from the sky, turning into a sky and pressing down. The ice fire swan felt a huge pressure. Even the flames on his body dimmed. "Damn it!" he roared. Terrifying ice flew out to contend with it. The sword of ice and fire merged. Lin Xian fought with it. It was earth-shattering. Mountain embracing seal. An ancient demonic mountain descended from the sky and suppressed the ice fire swan. At the same time, an extremely terrifying light erupted from Lin Xian's eyes. Seal of life and death. A terrifying soul imprint merged into the other party's mind and bombarded it non-stop. The ice fire swan roared. He didn't expect the other party to become so powerful in such a short time. Chapter 4602. Ice and Fire Bloodline Break. A trace of madness appeared in the ice fire swan's eyes as the crazy bloodline power burned. A terrifying ice and fire law directly split open, causing the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. Lin Xian also felt a huge impact. He took out the Great Destruction Spear. The power of destruction erupted and cleaved down, splitting apart the destructive power. The soul imprint and the seal of life and death erupted again, attacking continuously. The ice fire swan despaired. Its bloodline was burning and it was difficult to not kill the other party. In the end, it was enveloped by the soul imprint. The seal of life and death appeared in its mind as it completely submitted to Lin Xian. Very good. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up as he asked, "What else is there around here?" "Find all the demonic beasts of the same level as you." Next, Lin Xian swept through all the demonic beasts. A month had passed and he returned with 5 late-stage Saint King demonic beasts. Guyu also returned with 2 late-stage Saint King demonic beasts. On the other side, Xiaomu returned with a full load. His strength was very terrifying. He suppressed 3 peak Saint Kings. There were also 10 late-stage Saint Kings. Next, Lin Xian and the other 2 controlled the demonic beasts that had been subdued and gathered a group of subordinates. Lin Xian took them into the Black Earth. "Let's go to the Black Sea again." The three of them soared into the sky and continued to head towards the Black Sea. This time Lin Xian directly entered and used his heavenly secret divine eyes. Soon, a black water mystical snake appeared. Behind him followed tens of thousands of demonic beasts. They were all very terrifying demonic saints. Greetings, Master. Very good. Lin Xian took in the tens of thousands of demonic beasts, and then attacked again. This time, they took in dozens of top-tier demonic beasts and then left. The three of them entered the Black Earth and left the Black Sea, heading towards the eastern region of the heavenly spiral continent. Lin Xian prepared to return to the Xiantian Pavilion first before returning to the Thousand Mountain Cave. During the process, Lin Xian and the others cultivated. Finally, they arrived at the eastern region. Lin Xian descended from the sky and arrived at the Xiantian Pavilion. After entering, he saw Jianwuk and the others. Jianwuk was also delighted. You are fine, that is great. Lin Xian expressed his thoughts and Jianwuk nodded. All right, we will wait for your signal. Next, Lin Xian left again. He continued to ride the Black Earth and flew towards the Misty Peak. The Ethereal Peak was located in the northern region of the heavenly spiral continent. After Lin Xian's group arrived, they exited the Black Earth. He didn't go straight to the Misty Peak or the Thousand Mountain Grotto. Instead, they settled down in a nearby city. Other than the grotto heavens in the vicinity, there were some larger cities. These cities were the antiquity cities. However, it was also very prosperous. All the grotto heavens had their own businesses in these huge cities. Lin Xian changed his appearance and aura before arriving at one of the huge cities. He walked in with Guyu. Xiaomu left. He had other things to do. Lin Xian was prepared to set up a trap and slowly lure the six paradise into his trap. Next, he would be able to control them. After entering the Moonlight City, Lin Xian asked Guyu to make a trip to the auction. They were auctioning a demonic beast. It was a mutated beast and it was very young. As long as they subdued it and nurtured it, it would be a demonic beast that could grow. In the future, it would be a powerful helper. Indeed, at the auction, this exquisite cat attracted the attention of countless people. Many people bid for it. One of the girls shouted coldly, I want this item. Who dares to fight with me? Don't blame me for being rude. Rude? Who is so arrogant? Some sage kings sneered unmoved. However, someone said, Do you want to die? Don't you know who this girl is? She was the little princess of the White Cloud Grotto. Her grandfather was a core elder of the White Cloud Grotto, and her father was the city lord of the White Cloud City. She was simply a girl blessed by the heavens. Would you dare to fight with such a person? Everyone felt their scalps go numb. How would they dare to fight with the heaven's daughter of the White Cloud Grotto? In the end, the exquisite cat landed in Bai Ling's hands. Bai Ling was very happy. She naturally knew that this was a mutated beast, so she immediately exchanged for the exquisite cat and left the auction house. Success. Guyu took the dragon marrow and returned to a manor. In the manor, Lin Xian was cultivating. When he heard these words, he nodded. In the next moment he said, White Cloud Grotto. All right, let's start with them. He formed a seal with his palm and began to contact Xiaomu. Not long after, he stood up and said, It's about time. We can prepare. On Xiaomu's side, after receiving Lin Xian's message, a smile appeared on his face. He took out a flute and played the illusory melody. The illusory melody swept across the sky and exploded. In a forest, countless demonic beasts were affected. There was a mountain-like figure in front of them. It was a demonic beast with an exquisite aura. It was also an exquisite cat, and was very powerful. It had reached the peak of the Sage King realm. It roared and charged toward Xiaomu. Not only that, it was an overlord. It led millions of demonic beasts and attacked continuously. Xiaomu used his powerful soul to control the exquisite cat. Then he led it towards Moonlight City. Soon a huge battle broke out. Countless demonic beasts began to attack Moonlight City. In an instant, the surrounding warriors were attacked. They fled into Moonlight City. The people in Moonlight City were shocked. Damn it! Were these demonic beasts crazy? They actually dared to attack Moonlight City. Soon Sage Kings attacked. However, this time, it was led by the exquisite cat. It was extremely terrifying. Therefore, the sages were no match for them. They retreated and activated the array. Moonlight City was a huge city. It had a powerful array. When the array was activated, it blocked the demonic beasts. The people inside heaved a sigh of relief. Outside, the exquisite cat controlled by Xiaomu did not attack. Instead, it surrounded the entire Moonlight City. The atmosphere was incomparably tense for a moment. On the other side, a demonic beast attacked. Lin Xian nodded and said to Guyu, "That's enough." Captured by Ling, Guyu controlled the two dark shadow bats and rushed out. It was a majestic palace. Ordinary people could not enter it. In the palace of the Nine Chong Tower, Bai Ling looked at the exquisite cat in her hand and smiled. It was too cute. All of a sudden, the surrounding void split open, and two dark shadow bats charged over. Who is it? Bai Ling roared and slapped out. She was also a genius. She had reached the Sage King realm. Therefore, she was very strong. However, it was useless. This time, it was Guyu who attacked. Therefore, he quickly sealed Bai Ling and took her away. When the little maid came to invite Bai Ling for a meal, she found traces of a fight inside. Moreover, the person was gone. The little maid let out a frightened cry. Soon the surrounding guards came. When they found out that Bai Ling had disappeared, their faces changed. Quickly search for her. Chapter 4603. The experts of White Cloud Grotto searched quickly, but they did not find anything. They knew something was wrong and quickly informed White Cloud Grotto. When Bai Ling's grandfather heard about it, he shouted coldly and rushed over with his men. When they arrived at Moonshine City, they asked about the situation. Elder Bai's face turned ugly. He asked, "Is there anything wrong with Ling recently?" The people around him shook their heads. A guard said, "Nothing unusual, but Princess Ling recently got a pet, exquisite cat." What? Exquisite cat? As soon as he said that, the faces of the experts from White Cloud Wonderland turned ugly. What's going on? A Sage King said. The demonic beasts were attacking Moonshine City, and the leader was a top-tier demonic beast, exquisite cat. Could it be that there was a relationship between the two? Elder Bai's face changed instantly. Take me out of the city. Elder Bai led the experts of White Cloud Grotto out of the city quickly, and saw countless demonic beasts outside. In front of them, there was a huge figure in the clouds. Elder Bai went up to talk to it personally and asked, "Fellow demonic beast, may I know if White Cloud Grotto has offended you? Can you let my granddaughter go?" Exquisite Cat had a powerful demonic general under her command. It was a terrifying divine eagle. He flew over and said coldly, "You people of White Cloud Grotto don't know what's good for you. How dare you capture our young master as a pet? Prepare to die." What? The faces of the people of White Cloud Grotto changed. Elder Bai said, "Is there a misunderstanding? My granddaughter did get a spirit beast, but she got it from an auction. If you really have a grudge, you should go to the auction. Not my granddaughter. Cut the crap. Our king said that if you want your granddaughter, sure. I'll give you a day to gather 1,000,000 dragon marrow. Otherwise, I'll send your granddaughter to hell. 1,000,000 dragon marrow in a day. What a joke. Even if they were from White Cloud Grotto, they could not do it. These demonic beasts dare to ask for so much." An expert of White Cloud Grotto beside Elder Bai said, "Elder, why are you talking nonsense with him? Let's kill him together." That's right. How dare a mere demonic beast behave atrociously in front of our White Cloud Grotto? That demonic beast sneered. "You can attack. This time, our king has invited a few terrifying overlords. If you fail, we will immediately take action. You have to think clearly." Elder Baizhang clenched his teeth. "Let's go back and discuss a plan. At the very least, we have to investigate clearly. What was the situation with the other party?" Elder Bai gnashed his teeth and returned to the Moonshine City with his people. It was impossible for them to gather 1,000,000 dragon essences in a day, so they had to think of other ways. At this moment, Lin Xian made his move. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for. He changed his appearance and became a genius of the Green Clan. He came to the front of Elder Bai's mansion. The guard went in to report. Elder Bai was already annoyed to begin with. When she heard those words, she said coldly, "No. The guard said that the young man said that he had a way. Is there really a way?" The Saint King at the side said, "What could a young man do?" The young man claimed to be from a family of beast tamers. Elder Bai's eyes lit up. He knew that although beast tamer clans were not in their area, they were very famous in the heavenly spiral continent. Maybe the young man really had a way. So she said, "Let him in." Soon, everyone saw a man in a black robe coming in. He stood up to welcome them in person. They did not know how to address this young man. Lin Xian said, "I am from Shanghai City, the Green Clan. I think you have heard of my family." Elder Bai's eyes lit up. Shanghai City was a very famous city. The Green Clan was also a top family. Maybe the geniuses there really had a way. It turned out to be a genius from the Green Clan. "Let him in." Elder Bai was very happy. He said, "Young master, do you have a way?" Lin Xian said, "It's very simple. My family of beast tamers naturally has a way to deal with those monsters. However, I can't do it for no reason. Young master, if you have any requests, just let me know." Lin Xian smiled. He said, "This time I came out mainly to improve my strength, so I need cultivation resources. Don't worry about this. As long as you can successfully rescue Ling, you will be our distinguished guest. I can give you any cultivation resources you want. I can even bring you to the sacred cultivation ground of Baiyun Grotto." Lin Xian did not answer immediately. Elder Bai saw this scene and a light flashed in her eyes. She said a few words to her subordinates. Soon, a Saint King came in with a storage ring in his hand. Elder Bai took it and said, "Young master, this is a gift for our first meeting. Young master, take it first. After the matter is done, I will definitely thank you." Lin Xian took it and scanned it with his soul spirit. His lips curled up into a smile. "Not bad, it's indeed very generous. It seems like Elder Bai is really anxious." He kept it and said, "All right, don't worry. I will take action tomorrow morning. I have to prepare today." "All right, young master. Why don't you rest in my residence?" Elder Bai said. Lin Xian shook his head. "No, I like freedom. Don't let others follow me." "Don't worry, I understand." Then Elder Bai began to wait. After Lin Xian came out, he kept the storage ring. Then a cold light flashed in his eyes. His plan had begun. With the monsters he controlled now, even if he attacked the 6 grotto heavens, he would not be able to defeat them. After all, he was not a beast tamer at the level of the great sage. Therefore, he was prepared to drive a wedge between these grotto heavens. These grotto heavens were all under Misty Peak. The 6 grotto heavens were similar in strength and had conflicts with each other. No one was willing to submit to the other. It could be said that they had fought many times in the dark. Lin Xian wanted to seize this opportunity to magnify the conflicts between these grotto heavens. It would be best if these grotto heavens were completely at odds with each other. That way he could benefit from it and use the power of heaven to suppress them. Now, he was preparing to gain the trust of Baiyun Grotto, and then provoke the anger of the other grotto heavens. He wanted them to fight with Baiyun Grotto. After returning to his residence, Lin Xian asked, "How is it?" Guyu said that he had found someone from Xiling Grotto. This time, Lin Xian's target was a genius from Xiling Grotto called Zifeng. He was also a genius and was very arrogant. The whole process was very simple. Lin Xian purposely met with him and then fought with him for a treasure. Then he took it away in front of him. Zifeng was naturally unhappy. He immediately attacked Lin Xian. Chapter 4604. The surrounding guards went crazy. They went forward to attack, but they were all killed by Lin Xian. Only one person was left. This person fled and reported to the others in the grotto heaven. Not long after, a group of Saint Kings arrived and surrounded Lin Xian. "Kid, how dare you attack us from the purple spirit-shaking sky? Do you want to die? Kneel down and wait for death." The group of Saint Kings had terrifying killing intent in their eyes. Lin Xian sneered. "You dare to threaten me? I think you are the ones who don't know death. Do you know who I am? How dare you offend me? Get lost, or don't blame me for being rude." Those Sage Kings quickly took action. Lin Xian stood in the field and sneered. You dare to attack me? You don't know death. His eyes shone brightly as he used his soul power. A few demonic beasts flew out from the black earth and swept across the area. One of them spat out terrifying thunder beasts. They turned into peerless thunder beasts that swept across everything. There was also one that spewed out a terrifying poison that instantly turned a Saint King into ashes. The surrounding people roared crazily and retreated quickly. Damn it, this guy can control demonic beasts. What is this? Could he be a beast tamer? Quickly inform our elders. Not long after, the elder of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven arrived. He shouted coldly. A few demonic beasts were not worth mentioning. In his opinion, these demonic beasts were all mid-stage Saint Kings, and he was a late-stage Saint King. He did not believe that Lin Xian could fight against him. He stretched out a large hand with monstrous laws and pressed down. The surrounding people also shook their heads and sighed. It was a pity that such a beast-tamer genius had offended a Grotto Heaven. He didn't know death. He probably came from other places and didn't know how terrifying the Grotto Heaven was here. The Saint Kings of the Grotto Heaven sneered. Oh, the elder is here? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The few people that he had killed earlier were nothing compared to Lin Xian. If he could kill an elder, the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven would definitely go crazy. By then the effect would be better. So he snorted. The purple palm landed, and two mid-stage Saint King demonic beasts turned into a bloody mist. The elder laughed. Did you see that, kid? Your demonic beasts are nothing in front of me. Lin Xian snorted. You are really an idiot. Do you think I only have these two demonic beasts? He summoned the ice fire swan, and its huge figure appeared. Terrifying ice spread out in all directions, freezing everything. The terrifying flames burned and instantly enveloped the elder of the Violet Spirit Grotto. The elder from the Violet Spirit Grotto was struck by the impact. He retreated and spat out blood, his face full of shock. A late-stage Saint King demonic beast. He was really shocked. And a young man. He was a top-notch beast-taming genius. So what? Whoever dared to make a move on their paradise, they could all go to hell. Endless laws condensed into a mirror that pierced through heaven and earth. One had to admit that this elder's strength was extremely powerful. The ice fire swan roared and attacked quickly. Its body became more than 2 meters long. Like lightning, it fought with the elder. Lin Xian activated the heavenly secret divine eye. The golden light shrouded the elder's soul. The elder's soul was severely injured. The ice fire swan took the opportunity to form ice blades and fire swords. They pierced the elder's body. The elder was split into 2 halves. He let out a frenzied roar, wanting to retaliate. However, Lin Xian controlled the ice fire swan and firmly suppressed his opponent's physique. At the same time, he activated the heavenly secret divine eye again. With Lin Xian's strength, it was not impossible for him to kill the soul of a late-stage Saint King. So, under his powerful eye technique and the attack of the ice fire swan, the elder's soul was destroyed. The people around were stunned. That was an elder, a late-stage Saint King. However, he had actually fallen as well. This was truly inconceivable. The expressions of the people from the Grotto Heaven changed. They quickly called for more elders. Not long after, another 2 elders joined forces and arrived. Lin Xian sneered. Kneel down and kowtow to admit your mistakes. I'll spare you. He was too arrogant. Everyone's scalps went numb. At the same time, Lone Moon also quickly headed to Elder Bai's residence. He sent the news to Elder Bai. After Elder Bai learned of the situation, his expression changed. He immediately led people over. After all, Lin Xian had just agreed to help him save his granddaughter. If he died now, then his granddaughter, Bai Ling, would die too. He naturally would not allow such a thing to happen. So he quickly attacked. Kid, how dare you? No one has ever dared to kill an elder of our Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. Even if you are a beast tamer, you can't escape death today. The 2 elders walked over and stared at the ice fire swan. Although it was a rare beast, they believed that the 2 of them could suppress it. This kid would not be able to escape today. Although the situation was critical, Lin Xian did not care. With his current strength, he could fight against a late-stage Holy King. Although there were 2 of them now, his identity was different. Now he also had the power to control beasts, and he had several powerful beasts in his hands. So he was not afraid. More importantly, he had already sensed it. Elder Bai was here. At this moment, there was a roar. Stop it. Then a few powerful figures descended. Someone was here. Was it this kid's helper? The surrounding people who were watching also exclaimed. The people from Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven snorted and turned to look. When they saw Elder Bai, they frowned. Elder Bai, what is the meaning of this? Are you going to interfere in this matter? Elder Bai said that you can't kill this young Master Qing. He is my guest. Guest. The two elders from Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven snorted. He killed our Purple Spirit geniuses and many other experts. More importantly, he killed one of our elders. You said we can't kill him? What a joke. When he said that, Elder Bai's expression changed. God, it had only been half a day, and this kid had already done something so shocking? Damn it. He looked at Lin Xian and asked with a frown. Young master, what is going on? Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back and said coldly. They were from Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven, and wanted to steal my things. Naturally, I had to teach them a lesson. But I didn't expect them to send their subordinates to kill me. Since that was the case, I naturally did it. Originally, the younger generation was fighting for the limelight, but their elder was shameless and wanted to attack me. I could only summon my beasts and kill him. It was that simple. Elder Bai, did you hear that? This kid is too arrogant. Are you going to protect him? Elder Bai's expression was ugly. He said, Young master, why don't you apologize to Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven, and I'll help you think of a solution. Chapter 4605. Also, Elder Bai, do you want to help him or me? Think carefully. If you help them, don't blame me for being rude. Also, what I promised you before doesn't count. Hearing this, the faces of those from White Cloud Grotto changed. Elder Bai's face darkened as well. To be honest, no young man had ever dared to speak to him in such a manner. If it were in the past, he would have slapped the other party to death. But no, he still needed the other party. Elder Bai took a deep breath. It seemed like he had to protect the other party first. In the next moment, he turned to those from Xiling Grotto and said, Guys, I'll protect this young man. If there's anything else, we can talk about it later. But not today. His thoughts were simple. After his granddaughter, Bai Ling, was rescued, he naturally wouldn't care about Lin Xian's life or death. Lin Xian knew what the other party was thinking. However, he didn't care. After all, this wasn't the only plan he had. He stood there with his hands behind his back and waited quietly. The faces of those from Xiling Grotto changed. What? They hadn't expected White Cloud Grotto to make such a decision. Are you sure? The two elders stared at Elder Bai with a cold expression. Elder Bai took a deep breath and said to those beside him, Escort the young man and leave first. Leave this to me. From behind, the Holy King of White Cloud Grotto walked over and said, Young man, please. Lin Xian looked at those from Xiling Grotto and said coldly, You guys are lucky. On account of White Cloud Grotto, yours truly will let you guys off today. The next time you see me, don't blame me for taking action. With that, he harumphed coldly and left in big strides. Those from Xiling Grotto were about to go crazy. They wanted to take action, but were stopped by Elder Bai. Guys, please listen to me. Elder Bai left and went up. The surrounding people were stunned. They couldn't believe it. Someone could kill the elders of White Cloud Grotto and leave so calmly. Just who was this guy? To think that the people of White Cloud Grotto would go all out to protect him. All of a sudden, everyone started guessing about Lin Xian's identity. Elder Bai Yin explained. Furthermore, he was willing to pay some resources as compensation. And he said that he would only need 3 days. After 3 days, he would no longer care about this brat. At that time, when the Violet Spirit Grotto Heaven made their move, he would no longer care. The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven gritted their teeth and said, Fine, Elder Bai, I'll give you face. 3 days later, we will personally kill this brat. The people of Xiling Grotto Heaven left, and the news spread out. In an instant, the entire city was in an uproar. The people from the other Grotto Heavens naturally received this news as well. They were greatly shocked and began to investigate Lin Xian's identity. On the other side, Elder Bai heaved a sigh of relief. His expression turned cold. This time, he had paid a lot of treasures in exchange for 3 days of time. That damned fellow better be able to save his granddaughter. Otherwise he would definitely tear that fellow into pieces. When they returned to the residence, Elder Bai asked if that fellow had gone out again. The 2 Saint Kings walked over and asked. No, they had been quietly waiting since they came back. Elder Bai nodded. That's good. Keep an eye on him and don't let him go out and cause trouble again. He snorted coldly. How could this genius of the Imperial Beast family be more arrogant than the geniuses of the Grotto Heavens? But thinking about it, the other party had many beasts protecting him. This was equivalent to having many experts protecting him. How could he not be arrogant? On this day, Elder Bai was very nervous. He was afraid that something would happen to Lin Xian again. But fortunately, it was over peacefully. When the sun rose, he quickly came to Lin Xian's palace and asked, Young master, is this enough? Lin Yuxuan opened the door with a cold expression. You're annoying me by calling me so early in the morning. Elder Bai gritted his teeth and laughed dryly. Young master, please forgive me. After this is over, I'll compensate you. There's no need for compensation. But you have to remember what you promised me. Let's go. With that, Lin Xian waved his hand and walked up. Elder Bai and the other experts of the Grotto Heavens followed him. The group of people rose into the air and left Moonshine City. The beasts outside the city were still there. The demon general from before, Shening, flew over and asked coldly, How is it? Are you ready? 1 million dragon marrow, quickly bring it over. Elder Bai gritted his teeth and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said, Leave it to me. He walked forward. I want to see your king. Who are you? The demon general snorted. Lin Xian released a terrifying aura. His gaze pierced through heaven and earth, and a terrifying soul suppression appeared. The surrounding beasts were all frightened. The demon general was the same. He took a few steps back. Lin Xian smiled. Now, am I qualified to see him? Shening said, Follow me. Then he rose into the air, and turned to look at Lin Xian. Only you can come. Others are not allowed to come. Otherwise, don't blame us for attacking. Lin Xian looked at Elder Bai and the others. Go back to the city and wait. With that he left with Shening. Elder Bai and the others could only return to Moonshine City and wait anxiously. On the other side, Lin Xian came to the mountain. There was a huge creature in front of him. It was Ling Long. However, at this moment, he was incomparably respectful. Shening also landed respectfully and knelt on the ground on one knee. Greetings, master. An old man in front turned around and said with a smile, Young Master Lin, how was it? The old man was Xiaomu. This was all part of their plan. Lin Xian asked, Where is that person? Xiaomu said, Still locked up. Lin Xian nodded. Everything was going according to plan. After staying for a while, he returned and left. He returned to Moonshine City. Seeing Lin Xian return, Elder Bai and the others went up to greet him. Young master, how was it? What happened? Did Ling not come back? They saw that only Lin Xian came back. Bai Ling did not come back at all. Elder Bai's face darkened, and a cold light bloomed in his eyes. He stared at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said indifferently, I went to see your granddaughter. She is still alive. With that he waved his hand. A light appeared, and there was an illusion of Bai Ling. And Elder Bai saw this scene and exclaimed. Then they asked, Why didn't you save her? Lin Xian said, You can't blame me. If you want to blame someone, blame your granddaughter. She actually hurt that little Ling Long. How could that evil beast do as he wished? I used my identity as a beast tamer family to intimidate them. That Ling Long said. Although I cannot kill your granddaughter, I must punish her. He will temporarily seal her for a month. After a month he will release her. But don't worry, I have already discussed with him. It will only be a seal, so you will not hurt your granddaughter. Seal. Elder Bai furrowed his brows tightly. Why did he feel that something was amiss? He showed a doubtful look. Lin Xian sneered. Why? Don't you believe me? Chapter 4606. Elderbai's pupils shrank. Then he forced a smile. How could that be? Thank you, young master. Why don't you stay here for a month? I will definitely treat you well. Why don't you come to my White Cloud Grotto and stay for a while? Elderbai invited Lin Xian. No, I'll stay in Moonshine City first. But you can go to the grotto and find me some cultivation resources. Recently, I feel like I'm about to break through. Lin Xian waved his hand. He wouldn't be polite to him. Damn it. Elderbai cursed in his heart. But he really couldn't do anything to him for a month. However, there was something else that worried him. That was the Purple Spirit Grotto. Previously, he thought that his granddaughter would return the next day. He didn't expect that there was still a month. Then he couldn't fulfill his promise to them. He said, Young master, you offended the Purple Spirit Grotto. I'm afraid they won't let it go. So it's very dangerous for you to stay here. Lin Xian said. So you don't plan to protect me anymore? Elderbai was about to vomit blood. Is this guy going to rely on me? He said, although I'm also an elder of the grotto, I can't represent the entire grotto. I can only mobilize a small number of experts. This time, you offended the entire Purple Spirit Grotto. If they really want to attack, I can't stop them. Lin Xian said, it's okay. You can stop as many as you can. Leave the rest to me. Lin Xian naturally didn't believe that the other party would help him. What he wanted to do was to make the two grotto heavens see each other as enemies. Then it would be easy for him to act. Hence, he decided to stay here for the time being. He found a residence for himself and stayed there. Then he called Longmoon back. At the same time, Xiaomu came back secretly. He was also worried about Lin Xian. With such a terrifying beast tamer like Xiaomu, Lin Xian wasn't worried at all. 3 days passed quickly. On this day, the Purple Spirit Grotto made a comeback. They were murderous and had many experts. Because they knew that Lin Xian could control beasts. The entire Moonshine City was shocked. Countless people were shocked. What happened? The Violet Spirit Grotto Heaven did not intend to let the matter rest. Did that guy not leave yet? Of course, they knew that Lin Xian had a battle with the Xiling Wonderland a few days ago. In their opinion, any smart guy would definitely leave, never to return again. However, he didn't expect Lin Xian to still be walking around here. He followed him to take a look. These people soared into the air and followed behind one another. Soon, they arrived in front of a mansion. Brat, come out and accept your death. The people from the Xiling Grotto Heaven stood above the 9 heavens and looked down like supreme gods and devils. Below, the mansion was extremely quiet. There was no response at all. Damn it, go down and take him down. As his voice fell, the surrounding Saint Kings attacked together. Monstrous laws swept downwards. Naturally, they knew that Lin Xian was a beastmaster. As such, they didn't dare to act rashly, and chose to attack from afar. The terrifying power covered the sky and covered the earth as it rushed toward the mansion below. Violent vibrations rang out as terrifying energy swept out in all directions. The people in the distance were terrified. With such an attack, the people inside would definitely die. Wang. Crack, crack, crack. However, at this moment, a terrifying frost swept out from the mansion below. It froze all the laws of magic, and formed a world of ice and frost. What a terrifying frost. It could freeze everything. This young man was really something. The people watching the battle were discussing. The people from the Xiling Grotto Heaven looked gloomy. This time, an elder arrived in person. Holding a battle sword in his hand, he swept across and shattered all the frost and arrived in the courtyard. However, as soon as he arrived, endless vines appeared around him and formed a cage enchantment to trap him. Damn it! Endless sword light burst out from his body and shot out in all directions. The terrifying sword energy slashed the vines and made a deafening sound. However, the flames danced, but the vines didn't break at all. Instead, they wrapped around him like chains. It didn't take long for him to be sealed. Damn it! The people from the Xiling Grotto Heaven were shocked. How terrifying! They didn't expect this guy to have so many terrifying beasts. Damn it! In the sky, a middle-aged man leading the people from the Xiling Grotto Heaven shouted coldly, "Go down to save him." 2 elders rushed down. They were 2 elders in the late stage of the Sage King realm. After arriving, They attacked fiercely. One of them shot out a bolt of purple lightning, which turned into a divine thunder and rushed down. In an instant, it pierced through the vines. The other person condensed a monstrous sea of fire. The purple flames turned into a phoenix and descended from the sky. In an instant, the vines in the sky were burned to ashes. The sealed elder was the same. He quickly retreated. When the people around saw this scene, they discussed animatedly. As expected of the Xiling Grotto heaven, there were so many experts. No matter how strong that kid was, he wouldn't be able to withstand the attack of a grotto heaven. As expected, the three elders stood below and looked around coldly. The laws on their bodies burst out together, and the ground below cracked open. A huge vine surrounded them and resisted. At the same time, the power of ice and fire flew out. The two sides were in a stalemate and were evenly matched. At this moment, a dark shadow appeared in the sky and directly streaked across. Suddenly, the heads of the two elders flew up, and blood dyed the sky red. Countless people were shocked. What kind of method was this? It was too strong. In the void, a dark bat appeared. It had the wings of a bat, the body of a human, and a fang with a cold aura. It directly devoured the blood of the elders. This was also a beast in the late Saint King realm, and it was the king of assassination. It was extremely powerful. Damn it! The two elders shouted angrily. Their bodies cracked open and turned into a bloody mist before they escaped. The people watching the battle were shocked. It was too terrifying. In just an instant, two elders were seriously injured. As for the person below, he didn't even come out. It was really unbelievable. The people of the Xiling Grotto heaven also looked terrible. The middle-aged man who led the group walked down and said coldly, "Who exactly are you?" They naturally knew about beast tamers. But how could a young beast tamer be so powerful? In the void, Elder Bai was also shocked. He was also here. How could he not be here for such a big event? However, he didn't expect that he didn't even have to do anything. Lin Xian's strength was completely beyond his imagination. It seemed like he had to reevaluate. Besides him, there were other strong people from the grotto heavens around. Their eyes were shining. If such a top genius could become their friend, he could help them control many powerful beasts. Thinking of this, the eyes of many people from the grotto heavens lit up. The eyes of those from the Xiling Grotto heaven were filled with endless murderous intent. Chapter 4607. A figure walked out from the palace below. Lin Xian looked around and snorted. "It's you guys again. I spared you guys because of White Cloud Grotto. I didn't expect you guys to be so reckless. Since that's the case, there's no need for you guys to leave. Damn brat, you're finally out." The people from Xiling Grotto saw Lin Xian. They gritted their teeth. "Kill." They rushed down quickly. Lin Xian sneered. "Since you guys don't want to die, then come at me." He used his eye technique. Immediately, the countless demonic beasts around him flew upwards. A huge battle broke out. The people from Xiling Grotto were extremely strong. However, Lin Xian had more beasts. One after another, huge figures with terrifying auras danced in the sky. The battle was intense. Lin Xian wasn't in any danger at all. When the people around saw this, they were stunned. This young man was truly extraordinary. The number of demonic beasts he could control was simply too many. How strong was his soul power? The people from Xiling Grotto gritted their teeth. Damn it! They realized that they couldn't do anything to Lin Xian. At this moment, the void split open. A huge hand grabbed down. It was like a god of war. It broke the sky. The gigantic hand instantly sent many of the beasts flying before grabbing at Lin Xian. Lin Xian's body flashed and he quickly dodged. In the next moment his face darkened. "A peak sage king!" The others exclaimed. They didn't expect that not only a late sage king elder was here, but even a peak sage king elder was here. After the attack, an old man walked down from the sky. His powerful aura suppressed the surroundings. "Brat, no matter how strong you are, can you fight against me? Be obedient and surrender." The people from Xiling Grotto laughed proudly. The others looked terrible. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. He said indifferently, "Elder Bai, you've been watching for so long. Aren't you going to attack? In the void, Elder Bai was startled. He then walked out of the void. At this moment, his expression was incomparably solemn. The people from Violet Spirit Grotto Heaven looked over and said, Elder Bai, we already gave you a lot of face before. I promised you that I would give him 3 days. Now that 3 days have passed, do you still want to attack? Are you sure you want to be enemies with my Xiling Grotto Heaven? The expert at the peak of the Saint King stage also looked over. Elder Bai's eyelids twitched. He was only a late-stage Saint King. Facing a powerful existence at the peak of the Saint King stage, he also felt endless pressure. For a moment he was stunned. Kid, without the White Cloud Grotto, let's see who can protect you. Those from Xiling Grotto Heaven gritted their teeth. They all walked up and knelt down obediently to accept their deaths. I will break all the bones in your body and let you know what it means to wish you were dead. The people watching from afar also shook their heads and sighed. It was such a pity that such a genius beast taming was lost. That's right, no matter how strong he was no match for a peak stage Saint King. In the face of such a frightening scene, Lin Xian laughed heartily. Do you really think that you can contend against me with just the few of you? Is a peak stage Saint King very powerful? You are just SOSO in front of me. You don't have the right to be arrogant. Looks like you won't give up until you see the coffin. The elder shook his head and attacked decisively. This attack was extremely terrifying. It was as if he had used the law to its peak. The people around felt immense pressure and were all pushed back. Some people were directly injured. Lin Xian's face was also cold. However, at this moment, Xiaomu in the palace made his move. He used the hallucinatory melody. A demonic beast flew out. Boom. A flaming figure flew past and turned into lightning, attacking the palm. In the next moment, an earth-shattering sound was heard. The palm split open, and monstrous flames shrouded the expert. The expert was terrified. Who was it? With a roar he punched out again. The fist shadow, with terrifying power, blocked the flames. The terrifying flames danced and fell in all directions. Suddenly, the experts from Xiling Grotto Heaven screamed in pain. Quite a number of people were instantly burned to ashes. Among them, there were actually 2 elders who had fallen. This scene scared everyone out of their wits. What kind of flames were these? How could they be so terrifying? Damn it, this was the power of a peak stage Saint King. They really didn't expect Lin Xian to be able to counterattack in such a situation, and even severely injure Xiling Grotto Heaven. The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven were also pale, as they quickly retreated to the back. The peak stage Saint King gritted his teeth. What was that? His gaze pierced through the heavens and the earth. In the next moment his pupils shrank. He saw a figure covered in flames floating in the void. Vermilion bird. He exclaimed. It was a 3-eyed vermilion bird. There was a vertical eye in the middle of the vermilion bird's brows, and it carried an extremely terrifying law of fire. Why, you still want to kill me now? I have said that you don't have the right to be arrogant in front of me. Lin Xian stood on the back of the vermilion bird and sneered. How could this be? This guy could control a peak stage Saint King? What level had he reached? The peak stage Saint King from Xiling Grotto Heaven had an extremely ugly expression. This flame was a fatal threat to him. The others didn't dare to step forward. Who exactly are you? Lin Xian said proudly with his hands behind his back. I have said that I am from the Green Clan, and I have already joined the Myriad Transformation sect. Not only did you offend a top beast taming family, but you also offended the Myriad Transformation sect. What? Myriad Transformation sect? Many people were puzzled. However, the faces of the Grotto Heaven members changed drastically. They had heard that this sect was extremely terrifying. It wasn't in their region, but on this continent. It was a sect on the same level as the Ethereal Peak. In fact, it was even more powerful than the Ethereal Peak. They didn't expect this young man to have such a shocking background. Elder Bai was also extremely regretful. He was extremely regretful right now. If he had taken action earlier, he could have improved the relationship between both parties. However, he was now afraid of offending the other party. Elder Zhang, what should we do? The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven asked. The peak stage Saint King frowned. This was no small matter. Let's go back and discuss it with the other elders. He couldn't make up his mind. These people turned around and prepared to leave. Lin Xian laughed. What? You think you can come and go as you please? Who do you think I am? His voice was like thunder, causing the people from Xiling Grotto Heaven to stop in their tracks. Their faces turned ugly. The peak stage Saint King turned around and gritted his teeth. Then what do you want? What do I want? So many of you from the older generation came to kill me. If I didn't have any strength, I would have died long ago. What do you think I want now? Do you think I am easy to bully? Do you want me to inform my family? Or let the experts from the Myriad Transformation sect come here to reason with you? The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven's faces changed. No matter which one it was, they couldn't afford to offend them. Therefore, the leading elder gritted his teeth and said, "Calm down. We didn't know who you were before, and you have killed many of our people. Why don't we stop here?" Chapter 4608. Then what do you want? The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven were no longer as arrogant as before. It was simple. Do you want to kill yourselves, or do you want me to send you to hell? What? The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven were shocked. This guy really wanted to kill them. Don't go too far. Although your identity is not ordinary, you are alone here. If you are really anxious, we will kill you. Is that so? You still want to kill me? Looks like I can't let you live any longer. Lin Xian waved his hand. Immediately, the three-eyed vermilion bird flew over. The ice-fire swan, the umbra bat, and the other demonic beasts also rushed over. You are courting death. The peak elders from Xiling Grotto Heaven roared and attacked. They were really angry. So what if the other party had a high status? This was their territory. In an instant, a great battle broke out. The others retreated far away to watch the battle. They could not believe that Lin Xian was so strong. They did not know that Lin Xian hated the 6 Grotto Heavens. These people treated their companions as battle servants. They even had something to do with the human world. How could Lin Xian let these people go? The battle was very intense. Demonic beasts that blotted out the sky and covered the earth rushed over. Even the elders who were at the pinnacle felt a sense of crisis. However, at this moment the void split open. 2 people rushed towards Lin Xian. Not good. When the crowd saw this, they exclaimed. They did not expect Xiling Grotto Heaven to have a space scroll. The sudden appearance of this young man was definitely dangerous. The 2 sneered. Go to hell, kid. One of them held a long saber, while the other clenched a fist and rushed over. Lin Xian did not dodge at all. He faced the 2 of them head-on. With one strike, an earth-shattering sound rang out. The 2 of them were stunned. Lin Xian turned around and sneered. How dare a mere mid-stage Saint King assassinate me? As he spoke, he struck out. One of his palms turned into lightning, while the other turned into a sword light. The 2 of them were beaten into a bloody mist. A crazy voice rang out. The 2 of them were instantly destroyed. At the same time, Lin Xian transmitted his voice to send another peak demonic saint to end the battle quickly. Inside the palace, Xiaomu attacked again. A demonic beast at the pinnacle joined the battle. Above the 9 heavens, the peak elder of Xiling Grotto Heaven roared, "Get lost! Retreat! Break out of the encirclement!" He was truly stunned. He could still fight against a 3-eyed vermilion bird, but if another demonic beast of the same level were to appear, he really wouldn't be able to stop it. He turned around and fled. However, in the next instant, half of his body turned into a bloody mist. He was so scared that his scalp went numb. It was a strange golden fish. The scales on its body were very sharp. In an instant, his body was cut open. When the surrounding people saw that even the peak elders were no match for him, they were so frightened that they hurriedly fled. The Ice King Hong who shot out a sky full of frost, forming a barrier. The 2 peak demonic beasts killed the peak elder until his soul was completely destroyed. The other people from the Violet Spirit Grotto were terrified. They knelt in the air. We were wrong. Please spare our lives. We won't dare to go against you anymore. However, it was useless. Those demonic beasts burned everyone to ashes. In the blink of an eye, all the strong people from the Violet Spirit Grotto were dead. The surrounding onlookers were dumbfounded. The people from the other grotto heavens also felt their scalps go numb. What kind of technique was this? It was simply too incredible. Were all beast tamers this terrifying? Lin Xian sneered. There is only one outcome for those who dare to go against me. He waved his hand, and the demonic beasts in the sky all flew back into his demonic beast pouch. At the same time, he waved his sleeve, forming a terrifying storm that blew away all the bloody mist in the sky. The sky was bright again. He turned around and was about to go in. The other people were amazed. He was simply a young god. At this moment, Elder Bai, who was in the air, came back to his senses. He quickly flew forward and landed in the courtyard. He shouted, "Sir, please wait." He had to rope in such a top-notch genius. Lin Xian stopped in his tracks. He turned around and looked at Elder Bai, revealing a cold smile. Elder Bai smiled and said, "Sir, why don't you come to my place for a chat? I will treat you well." Lin Xian said coldly, "Get lost." The smile on Elder Bai's face froze. He could not believe that Lin Xian would treat him like this. Lin Xian said, "Why now you want to treat me? Why didn't you protect me when I was being chased by the people from the Violet Spirit Grotto? I saved your granddaughter's life. Are you going to repay me like this? Get lost and reflect on yourself. Think it through and see me again." After speaking, Lin Xian turned around and ignored Elder Bai, walking straight in. Elder Bai stopped in the courtyard and his face turned extremely ugly. No one had ever dared to reprimand him, let alone a young man. He felt as if he had been slapped in the face, especially when there were countless onlookers around, looking at him and discussing. He felt these people's gazes fall on his back. Damn it! He had lost all his face. But he did not dare to make a move. Even a peak Saint King had fallen, let alone him. In the next moment he tore open the void and hurriedly escaped. Countless people were in an uproar, and they left one after another. This matter quickly spread throughout the Moonshine City and spread in all directions. Soon, countless people knew that a terrifying genius had arrived in the Moonshine City, and his name was Sir Qing. He could control super beasts and sweep through everything. Chapter 4609. At this moment, the older generation spoke again, trying to find a way to resolve the grudge. The young disciples of Xiling Grotto Heaven were in disbelief. Someone had killed their elders and geniuses, and they still had to beg for mercy. What a joke! When had they ever been so aggrieved? Moonshine City was very lively at this moment. Everyone was talking about what had happened a few days ago. Lin Xian had controlled thousands of demonic beasts, killed many experts of Xiling Grotto Heaven, and even told the elders of Baiyun Grotto Heaven to get lost. It had become a legend, and countless young geniuses were envious and were discussing it. Many people even went outside Lin Xian's mansion. Of course, they didn't dare to get close, and could only wander around. Elder Bai hadn't closed his eyes for the past few days. At his level, it wouldn't be a problem for him to not rest for 10 years. However, he was indeed very anxious and nervous today. Finally, there was a flash of light in front of him, and a figure landed in front of him. "How is it?" Elder Bai asked. The Sage King said, "Elder, don't worry, we've brought the things." As they spoke, they took out a few storage rings. After Elder Bai took them and scanned them with his soul spirit, he heaved a sigh of relief. In the next moment, the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. Ever since he was reprimanded by Lin Xian, he immediately contacted the Grotto Heaven and prepared a large number of cultivation resources. Now that they were all in these 3 storage rings, he felt very satisfied, and thought that they should be able to move the other party. "Come follow me." Elder Bai took in a deep breath and strode forward. Many people followed behind him, including mid-stage Sage Kings and 8 early-stage Sage Kings. The group quickly flew on the clouds towards Lin Xian's mansion. Lin Xian's mansion. Countless people were still wandering around when they suddenly felt a terrifying aura pressing down on them. They all looked up. In the next moment, they saw more than 10 figures descending. Someone cried out in alarm. Wasn't this Elder Bai? He actually came again. Did he come for revenge? They were extremely nervous and watched curiously. After Elder Bai and his group descended, they didn't dare to land directly in the courtyard, but outside the mansion. Elder Bai cleared his throat and said in a clear voice, I, Bai Yuan, would like to see young Master Qing. His voice went in, but there was no response. Elder Bai Zhang's expression changed. He shouted again, but no one responded to him. The people behind asked, Elder, what should we do? Elder Bai thought for a moment, then gritted her teeth and said, We'll wait here. He had already missed an opportunity by not helping the other party previously. If he were to leave this time around, the misunderstanding between the two of them would be irreparable. So today, no matter what, he had to go in, even if he had to wait for 3 days and 3 nights. The surrounding people were shocked. They didn't expect that the Grand Elder of Dongtian would be so respectful. Moreover, he couldn't even see his face. It was truly unbelievable. Just as they were discussing in surprise, another stream of light streaked across the sky, followed by another dozen or so figures. I, Fei Jiutian of the Flying Feather Grotto Heaven, request an audience with the young master. After these people landed, the leader of the group was a middle-aged man. Flying 9 heavens, Flying Feather Paradise. The spectators were stunned. Immediately, some people were astonished. This should be another elder. Not only that. I know him. He's very famous. They were extremely terrifying existences in the late stage of the Saint King realm. It was said that they were very close to the peak stage of the Saint King realm. I didn't expect him to come, and he's so respectful. The crowd was in an uproar. This Flying 9 heavens status was even higher than Elder Bai's. They should be able to go in this time, right? However, to everyone's surprise, there was still no response from inside. Flying 9 heavens was also waiting outside with his men. Flying 9 heavens' gaze was calm, and he wasn't in a hurry. The experts behind him looked gloomy. Damn it, they came this time, but the other party didn't give them any face. It was really infuriating. At this moment, another loud laughter was heard. Between heaven and earth, the chi of righteousness reverberated. An elder descended from the sky, and the powerful chi of holy light suppressed the surroundings. There were 5 figures following behind him. I'm Hao Yuanshan, and I'm here to see young Master Qing. His loud voice sounded again. The surrounding people were stunned. Hao Yuanshan was a core elder of Haoran Grotto Heaven, who had reached the peak of the Sage King realm. Such a person had come personally. Everyone felt that it was unreal. They should be able to go in now, right? However, to everyone's surprise, there was still no response. Even Hao Yuanshan could only wait outside. This time, the people of Flying Feather Grotto Heaven were extremely shocked. Previously, they were very angry, but now it seemed that they might have thought too much. The other party didn't even care about the peak of the Sage King realm, let alone them. Not long after, another 2 forces came. The people of Qianshan Grotto Heaven and Qingqiu Grotto Heaven were here, and the leaders were 2 peak of the Sage King realm. They were the elders of the 5 Grotto Heavens. Standing outside the mansion, the scene was extremely shocking. The news spread instantly, and after the people of Moonshine City knew about it, they all came to watch. Of course, they only dared to watch from afar, and some even used their souls to watch. Even so, the scene was shocking enough. The entire Moonshine City was talking about it. This guy was too arrogant. He really didn't care about the people of the 5 Grotto Heavens. The elders of the 5 Grotto Heavens looked a little cold. They knew that the other party was powerful, so they came personally. Logically speaking, the other party should have come out to welcome them, but they didn't expect him to not even have the intention to see them. And he's really arrogant. Does he really think he's a god? At this moment, the peak elder of Qianshan Grotto Heaven snorted. As he spoke, there was a strong flame on his body. It was Elder Yan Hua. He was from the Sage Heaven's old ancestors' line. I think we should join forces and go in, Elder Yan Hua said coldly. The others took a deep breath and were about to move. At this moment, someone came from afar. It was the people of Xiling Grotto Heaven. Countless people were surprised, wondering what the people of Xiling Grotto Heaven were doing here. Were they here for revenge again? After the people of Xiling Grotto Heaven arrived, they were stunned when they saw the people of the 5 Grotto Heavens. But in the next moment they said loudly, Xiling Grotto Heaven requests to see the young master. We hope that the young master can forgive us for offending you previously. We are here to resolve this grudge. Xiling Grotto Heaven actually resolved the grudge personally. This was unbelievable. Everyone in Moonshine City was stunned. The Grotto Heavens actually bowed their heads. This was something that happened once in 1,000 years. In the palace, Lone Moon looked at the scene outside, then turned around and asked, "Young master, what do you plan to do?" Lin Xian opened his eyes and asked indifferently, "Is everyone here?" Guyu said, "The people of the 6 Grotto Heavens are all here and waiting outside." Oh, Lin Xian stood up and smiled. "The people of Xiling Grotto Heaven are here too?" Chapter 46:10. Lone Moon was stunned. He did not expect Lin Xian to be so domineering. To be honest, he thought that there was a grudge between Lin Xian and the 6 Grotto Heavens. He thought that Lin Xian wanted to suppress them, but now it seemed that was not the case. The grudge between the two parties was deeper than he thought. "Don't worry, young master, let me handle this." Xiaomu also stood up and waved his hand. The three-eyed vermilion bird flew into the sky and shot out a divine fire from its third eye. Outside the mansion, those people were still waiting, and many of them were already impatient. Elder Yan Hua's expression was cold. He said, "Are you still going to wait? I'm going to go in directly." Just as he was about to walk forward, a divine flame flew out of the mansion. It flew past Elder Yan Hua like a bolt of lightning. Elder Yan Hua felt the aura of the fire, and his hair stood on end. He was so shocked that he almost knelt on the ground. The divine fire did not attack him. Instead, it flew past him and hit a figure behind him. Suddenly, the figure let out a crazy roar. The space between his eyebrows was pierced in an instant, and his soul was burned to ashes. The people from the other Grotto Heavens were shocked and stepped back. When they looked over, their faces turned ugly. The elder from Xiling Grotto Heaven was lying on the ground, no longer breathing. Is he dead? He was killed in one move. These people's scalps went numb. That divine fire was really too powerful. Someone said, "I know, it must be the three-eyed vermilion bird that shot out its strongest bloodline fire." This person's methods were beyond imagination. The elders from the Grotto Heavens looked very serious. Those who were unhappy before immediately stopped talking. Even Elder Yan Ho was trembling and breaking out in cold sweat. What a joke. The other party killed them as if they were ants. They did not dare to be presumptuous. These people were uneasy. Those who were further away were even more shocked. Such powerful methods, he was like a god. At this moment, the door of the mansion opened and Guyu walked out. "All right, you guys can come in." The elders of these paradise walked in cautiously. There were a total of 5 paradise, because the Violet Spirit Paradise had already been destroyed. After entering, they walked into the palace and found Lin Xian sitting there with these demonic beasts beside him. At the same time, there was an old man beside him, who was even more unfathomable. After greeting young Master Qing, the elders of the 5 great paradises bowed one after another. Lin Xian looked at these people and smiled. "What business do you have here?" The elder from Howren Grotto Heaven said with a smile. "Young master, your previous actions were extremely valiant and I admire you. We're here to see what kind of top geniuses you are. Also, we hope that you can become friends with us." "That's right." The people from the Flying Feather Cave and the Thousand Mountain Cave quickly nodded their heads. At this moment, Elder Bai walked up and said, "Young Master Qing, I was in the wrong previously. After thinking about it, I realized that I was really wrong. Such a thing would never happen again. I hope young master will give me a chance." "Is that so?" Lin Xian nodded his head slightly. Elder Bai gritted his teeth and took out a storage ring. "I know that young master is a beast tamer. These are some spirit fruits that I specially collected. They are all top-grade spirit fruits. They are extremely suitable for demonic beasts." Lin Xian took a look at it and was extremely surprised. "All right, I'll forgive you this time." "That's great. Thank you, young master." Elder Bai was overjoyed. If anyone outside saw this scene, they would definitely be dumbfounded. Was being forgiven by the other party worth being so happy about? However, Lin Xian's methods were simply too skillful. These elders were shocked and could not help but treat him with caution. At this moment, A lady from the Green Hill Grotto Heaven walked up and said with a smile, "Young master, our Green Hill Grotto Heaven would like to invite you over as a guest for a few days." This lady was really like a fairy from the 9 heavens. Countless people were stunned. Damn it. This Green Hill Grotto Heaven was too scheming. They sent out such a fairy. Young Master Qing might not be able to handle it. Their faces became extremely nervous. Lin Xian said with a smile, "Is that so? I'll have to think about it." The fairy from the Green Hill Grotto Heaven was stunned. She did not expect that the other party would not be affected at all. The people from the other Grotto Heavens also laughed. It was simply laughable to use such tricks in front of young master. However, they still hurried to invite him. The elder from the Howren Grotto Heaven said, "We would also like to invite young Master Qing. Young master, come to our White Cloud Grotto Heaven. We definitely won't let you down." Elder Bai quickly walked out. The 5 Grotto Heavens had all invited him. They almost got into a fight. Lin Xian said, "You're all so nice. You're making things difficult for me. Besides, I want to go out to the forest to catch some demonic beasts to cultivate. I don't have much time." "Don't worry about that." Elder Bai stood up and said, "Leave the demonic beasts to us. We'll suppress the demonic beasts that young master needs for him to cultivate. Flying Fish Grotto Heaven can do that too. There's no need to go through so much trouble. Our Green Hill Grotto Heaven has many demonic beasts to begin with. We'll definitely satisfy you." The people from these Grotto Heavens were all extremely strong. Elder Bai was about to cry. One had to know that his granddaughter was still sealed. If Lin Xian left with the people from the other Grotto Heavens, if he didn't return in a month, his granddaughter would be in danger. Furthermore, if the people from the White Cloud Grotto Heaven knew that he had missed out on such a top-notch genius, they would probably kill him. Therefore, he gritted his teeth. As if he had made some sort of decision, he took off the storage ring on his hand and said, "Young master, I'm sorry. Young master, I obtained 5 Qilin fruits by chance. Now I'm giving them to you. I hope that you'll accept them." As soon as these words came out, the people from the surrounding Grotto Heavens were shocked. Qilin fruits were good stuff. Just like the dragon marrow, they were extremely precious. Furthermore, the conditions for Qilin fruits were even more troublesome. It required a place where the saint blood of the Qilin race had dripped, and it had to go through all sorts of heaven and earth powers before it could form. They didn't expect Elder Bai to be so lucky to be able to obtain Qilin fruits. However, this guy was really determined. To think that he would even take out such a peerless treasure. Such an item was extremely useful for Sage Kings. It could increase their strength. Now it seemed that Elder Bai had really gone crazy. Lin Xian was also surprised. After he received the Qilin fruits, he realized that each of them was the size of a fist and was crystal clear. There was also a blood-colored glow on them, which was filled with power. Lin Xian was very satisfied. He smiled and said, "It must have been difficult for Elder Bai to obtain such a precious item. It's such a pity to give it to me like this. If I get it, wouldn't I be unreasonable? I think it's better to forget it." Elder Bai's expression changed, and he quickly shook his head. "How can I use such a spiritual fruit of heaven and earth? Only a top-notch genius like you is worthy of using it. If you don't use it, it'll be a waste and you won't give it to me. Young master, you must accept it." It was as if he had turned into the most humble dust to set off Lin Xian's brilliance. The eyelids of the elders from the surrounding Grotto Heavens twitched, and their faces darkened. Damn, I didn't realize that this old guy was so shameless. Chapter 46:11. Even Lin Xian was surprised. Once these people became ruthless, even he was afraid of them. He said, "All right, since they are so sincere, I will keep the 5 Kirin fruits." Elder Bai saw the scene and smiled. "Young master, do you agree?" Lin Xian said, "It's not realistic to go to White Cloud Cave. Is there a White Cloud Cave residence in Moonshine City? I can go there." "Yes, there is." Elder Bai nodded. Moonshine City was also a huge city. Naturally, there were properties of the 6 Great Grotto Heavens. Elder Bai was very happy. The other people of the Grotto Heavens were gnashing their teeth. It seemed that they had lost an opportunity. However, they would not give up. They would think of a way to snatch the fruits from White Cloud Cave. The next day, Lin Xian and the others followed Elder Bai and left White Cloud Cave residence in Moonshine City. This residence was even more majestic than Elder Bai's residence. There were many experts and sages inside. These people were in charge of managing the properties of Moonshine City. After Lin Xian arrived, Elder Bai personally came out to receive him. Even the Peak Sage King came out to welcome him. One could imagine how much faith Lin Xian had. After Lin Xian arrived, he saw some demonic beasts inside. There were even many newly suppressed demonic beasts. Lin Xian controlled a few of them, and let them guard the entire residence. The people from the White Cloud Wonderland were shocked. How could he control the terrifying demonic beasts so easily? If they could get more help from him, they would definitely be able to help. If he helped them a lot, they would not need any guards at all. These demonic beasts alone could protect everything. Young Master Lin, this way please. This is your courtyard. We have specially prepared many demonic beasts for you. I hope you will be satisfied. Elder Bai brought Lin Xian and the others to a quiet courtyard. Lin Xian stayed there temporarily. There were fake mountains and flowing water inside. There were also dozens of demonic beasts. In addition, there were many cultivation resources. It could be said that ordinary elders did not have such treatment. Only the top elders had such treatment. The fact that Lin Xian received such treatment as soon as he arrived was truly astonishing. Lin Xian also nodded his head in satisfaction. As expected of a heavenly grotto, he did not hesitate to accept these items. Lin Xian said to Lone Moon and Xiaomu, "You two don't have to be polite, just use it. If you run out, you can ask them for more." Even if the White Cloud Grotto heaven was gone, there would be other grotto heavens. This time, he had to make good use of it. Xiaomu and Guyu laughed and began to cultivate in seclusion. Lin Xian took out the Great Dragon Sword Spirit and began absorbing these resources. At the same time, he also absorbed them to increase the power of the Great Dragon Sword Spirit and Nine Yang Divine Body. In the next few days, Elder Bai and Elder Zhang came to deliver a lot of resources and demonic beasts every day, which stunned Xiaomu and Guyu. They had never seen such treatment before. Lin Xian also said, "You've made me very satisfied. Don't worry, you can count on me. Also, I have to thank you properly. Your White Cloud Grotto should have stayed here for a long time, right? You should be planning to continue staying here." Elder Bai nodded his head. "Lin Xian, it seems like there's a formation in the mansion, but I'm not very satisfied. I plan to control a top-level demonic beast for you, and make it the guardian of your mansion." Really? One had to know that although they were in the same realm, some demonic beasts had magical powers that could protect everything. However, with the strength of the heavenly grotto, it was possible to capture such a demonic beast. But it was impossible to subdue it. It had to be a beast tamer, and an extremely powerful one at that. Now that Lin Xian had spoken, everyone was naturally happy. After Elder Bai sent the news back, the peak elders in the mansion were also very happy. They immediately held a banquet to entertain Lin Xian and the other two. At the banquet, they asked about the specific situation. Lin Xian said some things and then said, "Now help me collect some information." Lin Xian said there were 5 demonic beasts. These 5 demonic beasts were all plant-type demonic beasts that guarded the center of the mansion. Combined with the surroundings, they were definitely more terrifying than a peerless formation. After hearing this, the peak elders beamed with joy and nodded one by one, indicating that they would do their best. In the next few days, these people began to go to the battlefield to suppress the demonic beasts. Not long after, the 5 demonic beasts were suppressed and returned to the mansion. The following matters were left to Lin Xian and the other two. They were going to subdue all of these demonic beasts. With Xiaomu's powerful soul suppression, Lin Xian planted the seal of life and death. The whole process took more than a month. After all this time, the demonic beasts were extremely terrifying. They were peak-level demonic beasts. During this time, Lin Xian went outside and brought Bai Ling back. The current Bai Ling was useless. Even without Bai Ling, the people of the White Cloud Grotto would not dare to be rude to him. Sure enough, when Elder Bai saw his granddaughter return, He was so emotional that he almost cried. He was even more grateful to Lin Xian. However, he did not know that the person they were grateful to was not their savior, but the fuck. The fuck. After hearing this news, the people of the other grotto heavens were extremely envious. Damn it. Back then they were late. They did not expect the White Cloud Grotto to benefit. The aura that came from the White Cloud Grotto's mansion shocked them. One could imagine that the White Cloud Grotto had definitely obtained great benefits. On the other side, the people of the Purple Spirit Grotto gritted their teeth. Back then the 6 grotto heavens visited together. In the end 5 grotto heavens went in, and only their grotto heavens did not. Instead, they were killed in a single move. This was more than just a slap to their faces. Damn it, this kid is too arrogant. Some of them gritted their teeth. What should they do? The peak elders were cold. Since they were already enemies, there was no need for them to use some forces. Someone frowned. Could it be that they had to contend with him? This kid has a lot of demonic beasts. Furthermore, he is currently in the White Cloud Grotto's mansion. I'm afraid the White Cloud Grotto will definitely not leave him alone. Another elder said. They should take some other actions, such as using some assassination forces. Hearing this, some people frowned. Were they going to use the power of the mortal world? Even on the buried Emperor Star, it was impossible to use this kind of power openly. After all, no matter which world it was in, the mortal world was an extremely terrifying existence. Once they appeared, they would be suppressed by other forces. An elder said, I understand. I'll prepare this matter. Also, don't spread the news. Only the few of us know. At this moment, the aura of the White Cloud Grotto's mansion changed greatly. Everyone felt a powerful force protecting them. Chapter 46:12. Lin Xian and the rest continued to absorb, and felt that they had reached a limit. He was ready to go out for a stroll to digest. After letting Xiaomu take charge, he and Lone Moon left together with 4 young geniuses from the White Cloud Grotto Heaven. They were full of respect and admiration for Lin Xian. One of them said, Young Master Lin, do you know? There was a very famous place in the Moonlight City. It was called the Moonlight Lake. Especially at night, one could see the strange scene of the 9 heavens capturing the moon on a boat at the Moonlight Lake. The Moonlight Lake was very famous. It was a place where one could see the 9 heavens capturing the moon at night. Because in ancient times, there was a peerless sage who comprehended the top divine power, the 9 heavens capturing the moon here. Later, it was said that in his later years, this peerless sage came back and finally passed away here. His soul and blood were all merged into the Moonlight Lake, so every full moon, there would be the 9 heavens capturing the moon. Today was the night of the full moon. In the evening, Lin Xian and the rest set off. When they arrived at the Moonlight Lake, they found that there were already many people there. Many people stopped by the lake, and there were also several boats floating on the lake. There were people sitting on the lake, emitting a terrifying aura. Obviously, these were sage kings who were comprehending here. With the strength of the White Cloud Grotto Heaven, it was easy to get a boat. Lin Xian and the rest walked over and floated on the lake. At this time, the full moon in the sky appeared, and a strange scene appeared around them. The moonlight flickered, as if they had entered a wonderful fairyland. Many people exclaimed. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. What a terrifying phenomenon. He did feel an extraordinary great Tao. Was this the 9 heavens capturing the moon? Gu Yu, who was beside him, was also stunned. As expected of a huge city, there was such a phenomenon. At this time, Lin Xian's pupil shrank. Not good, he slapped Gu Yu. He slapped Gu Yu away. Gu Yu didn't know why Lin Xian attacked him, but in the next moment he understood. Because a beam of sword light had cut open his neck. If Lin Xian hadn't sent him flying, his head would probably have been chopped off by now. Lin Xian had saved his life with that photo. He was terrified. Who was it? With a cold shout, a terrifying aura burst forth from his body. A claw appeared from his demonic beast pouch and enveloped him, forming a powerful defense. At the same time he looked around. On the other side, Lin Xian was also affected. He saved Gu Yu with a palm strike, and at the same time, he punched back at the sword light, shattering it. However, another saber light slashed at his back and sent him flying. He turned around abruptly and felt a sharp pain in his back. It was as if his back was about to split apart. Fortunately, he had a divine body. The powerful Nine-Yang divine body blocked the attack. However, his expression had already turned gloomy. Who was it that dared to assassinate him at this time? The 4 young men of the White Cloud Wonderland immediately rose from their seats upon seeing this. Who was it? He dared to attack Lin Xian? Right now, they knew how important Lin Xian was. If he was injured, they probably wouldn't be able to explain themselves. The 4 of them also rose into the air, and a terrifying cloud filled the surroundings. Be careful. Let's go back. I'll send a distress signal to the elders. One of them steered the boat and was about to leave, while the other took out a jade pendant and was about to crush it. However, in the next moment, the space between their eyebrows split open, and 2 beams of sword light destroyed their bodies and souls. Oh no! When the remaining 2 grotto heavens saw this, they turned around and wanted to escape. However, in the next moment, their hearts were pierced again. The 4 geniuses of the White Cloud Wonderland were killed in an instant. Blood splattered everywhere. The people around the Moonlight Lake were also stunned. Where did the white mist come from? Did someone attack here? Didn't they know the rules? One had to know that the Moonlight Lake was a place where everyone meditated. Especially when the moon was full, fighting was absolutely forbidden. Otherwise, they would be surrounded by everyone. Was there someone who didn't know what was good for them? One by one, powerful figures stood up and locked their gazes. However, in the next moment, they saw the clouds disperse, and a boat came out. There were 4 figures on the boat, lying on the ground. Sacred blood pierced through heaven and earth. Someone had been killed, and it was someone from the White Cloud Wonderland. In an instant, many people were terrified. Look, there were still people on the boat. Guyu was also stunned. What a terrifying killer, even more terrifying than his King of Shadows. At this moment, he summoned a giant black ape. One of its claws covered him, while the other hand swept in all directions. It formed a powerful storm. At the same time, he also summoned the dark bat to assassinate. However, after those people attacked, they disappeared without a trace. They seemed to have left. His face was gloomy. Such a terrifying assassination method made him think of a name. In the human world. Finally, they couldn't help but attack. The young master seemed to have left. After a while, Guyu spoke. However, as soon as he finished speaking, a few more beams of sword light shot over. Guyu hastily launched an attack. His black hand blocked the sword light, but the gigantic ape roared loudly. His neck had been pierced through, and blood flowed out like seawater without stopping. He roared at the sky and slapped down. The entire Moonlight Lake was turned into a huge sea. Countless people were shocked. They didn't expect that someone would dare to fight in the Moonlight Lake. Some Saint Kings shouted angrily. They rushed over, but in an instant, a few beams of sword light split them apart. The other Saint King's pupils shrank. Not good, retreat quickly. It's a top killer. Those people ignored them and left one after another. It seemed that the 2 young people in the center of the lake had offended someone powerful. They couldn't do anything about this battle. They could only speculate. The peerless sword light was like lightning, circling between heaven and earth, attacking Lin Xian and Lone Moon. Guyu had summoned 3 demon saints at this moment. They kept attacking. He originally wanted to kill the enemy, but now he could only use the 3 demon beasts to protect him. Lin Xian's face was solemn. These killers were very terrifying. They were all about killing with one blow. Moreover, the other party's hiding method was very terrifying. Even with Lone Moon's powerful soul power, he couldn't detect it. Lin Xian's eyes shone with golden light. He activated the genius superpower. His golden eyes were like a magic lamp, lighting up the void. Then he took a step forward and punched out with his golden fist. Boom. He punched out, shattering the void. A figure was pushed out like a shadow. There was blood dripping from that side. It was obvious that this punch had injured him. But in an instant, the figure disappeared again. What a terrifying punch. Who was fighting? Those people in the distance were shocked. They couldn't see clearly at all. There was a murderous aura in front of them. Chapter 46:13. Guyu was also shocked. He realized that Lin Xian hadn't used his true strength during the mountain sea beast battles. This was because the other party's punch was much stronger than before. After the attack, two saber lights rushed over. Lin Xian fought back, but he realized that the expert sent out this time was actually a late-stage Sage King. The previous one was weaker, but these two saber lights were very strong. Lin Xian was forced to retreat. He snorted and didn't say anything. He took out the Great Destruction Spear and attacked. A terrifying demonic aura surged through the 9 heavens. The demonic aura danced, and the sound of a dragon echoed through heaven and earth. A figure was instantly pierced through. That person's pupils constricted, and he shouted coldly. He slashed his saber at himself, cutting off his broken arm. He quickly fled. At the same time, a cold killing intent rushed towards Lin Xian. At this moment, Lin Xian seemed to have turned into a god fiend. Between heaven and earth, Lin Xian did not know how many experts of the human world there were. He was completely surrounded. At this moment, an even more terrifying aura erupted. Not good, Lin Xian exclaimed. He sensed danger and instantly entered the Great Sage Pagoda. In the next moment, the Great Sage Pagoda was smashed into the Moonlight Lake, and the surrounding space was completely turned into nothingness. This was the peak of power. Show too terrifying. Buzz. Roar. The Moonlight Lake shook non-stop, and Lin Xian charged out. Flames danced in the sky, and a three-eyed vermilion bird flew out, sweeping through the 9 heavens. Although Xiaomu didn't come, the three-eyed vermilion bird followed him. Lin Xian controlled the three-eyed vermilion bird and swept through the 8 wastelands, lighting up the entire void. He walked out, and his face was incomparably cold. Since you're here, no one can leave today, Lin Xian roared. A pair of golden eyes appeared in the sky, and a terrifying phantom of the divine secret map enveloped the entire space. Kill. He attacked aggressively. Lin Xian stood on top of the three-eyed vermilion bird and swung the Great Destruction Spear. He charged towards one of the experts of the mortal realm, the SH. Shou still wanted to retreat, but under Lin Xian's gaze, how could he escape? The Great Spear of Destruction came crashing down like a black mountain, bringing with it a terrifying aura of the Tao of Dragons. The Slayer Saint tried to resist, but the moment he swung his sword at the void, he was sent flying. It was so scary. These people quickly retreated. How could Lin Xian let these people leave? He immediately summoned his great dragon sword Soul, which transformed into a dragon shadow and sliced his opponent in half. A sacred assassin fell. Another sacred assassin was turned into a mist of blood. Lin Xian slashed 3 times in a row, his face turning pale. The 3 killing saints of the mortal world were completely annihilated. Retreat quickly. The leading pinnacle saint roared and quickly retreated. Lin Xian pushed his Tianji god eyes to the limit, attacking his opponent's soul. That sacred assassin didn't expect Lin Xian's soul to be so powerful. After receiving the attack, his body swayed and he vomited blood. The vermilion bird's third eye shot out a divine flame that enveloped the opponent. A roar sounded. That person was severely injured. He tore open the void and disappeared. Was it over? The people in the distance were stunned. These sacred assassins were too terrifying. However, the person who attacked was even more terrifying. He killed one with a sword. What was that powerful aura just now? Guyu was also shocked. Was this Lin Xian's trump card? At this moment, the great dragon sword soul had returned to Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian's face was pale. He quickly absorbed the power of heaven and earth and swallowed pills. It seemed that he had to speed up. There were already grotto heavens who couldn't wait to attack. In the distance, Elder Bai and the others walked over. They were incomparably shocked. What happened? Young master, are you alright? The great battle here had naturally alarmed them. Lin Xian said, I'm fine. I was almost assassinated. Elder Bai and the others' faces changed. When they saw the 4 geniuses of White Cloud Grotto Heaven fall, their faces instantly turned ugly. Who dared to attack them? One of the elders looked solemn. They didn't say anything about this aura, but it was obvious that they had already guessed it. Elder Bai's eyelids were also twitching. Could it be that someone used that dark power? Who was it? Lone Moon's face was also gloomy. Even Xiaomu had come. Lone Moon could feel the terrifying murderous aura around him, and his eyes flashed with a biting cold light. If he wasn't careful, he might be hit by such a fatal blow. Lin Xian said coldly, "Where is the residence of the Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven?" Elder Bai was stunned. "Young master, what do you mean?" Lin Xian said coldly and led the way. "Yes, I know." Elder Bai nodded. Lin Xian and the others rose into the air. Guyu said, "Did the people of Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven do it?" Lin Xian's eyes flickered. "I guess it's very likely that they did it. Even if they didn't, we have to take them down today." The people of Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven were naturally paying attention to this battle. In their opinion, 4 mortal world killing saints were sent out. One of them was a peak killing saint. It was more than enough to deal with a beast tamer. After all, even if the other party had a peak killing beast tamer protecting him, so what? The people of the mortal world were particular about killing with one blow. The other party might not even have the time to react before his soul was destroyed. However, things went beyond their expectations. Lin Xian didn't die at all. He was only slightly injured. On the other hand, 3 mortal world killing saints had fallen. It was really unbelievable. Especially the peak killing saint who was injured and fled. They couldn't believe it. They felt like they were dreaming. Now they saw Lin Xian and the others' murderous aura. They walked towards the direction of Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. They felt their scalps tingle. No, they had to go and report that these people wanted to kill. Go to the door. It was very likely that they would be caught off guard. A few people flashed in the dark. Lin Xian looked at Xiaomu and said, "There are a few people who want to kill them." Xiaomu nodded. His powerful soul energy turned into soul flames. The souls of the people of Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven, who were hiding in the dark, were instantly killed. On the other hand, Lin Xian sped up and arrived at the mansion of Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. This was the place of Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven. Elder Bai and the others sat in front of him. They wanted to ask what Lin Xian was doing. Lin Xian threw a punch. The space in front of him was broken, and a peerless formation bloomed. Lin Xian was proficient in formations. He said to Xiaomu and Guyu, "Summon your beasts and attack." At the same time, he summoned a few beasts to attack the weak points of the formation. Soon they charged in. Elder Bai and the others were stunned. They didn't expect Lin Xian to kill people directly. The door opened. Although it wasn't the headquarters of Purple Spirit Grotto Heaven, it was still a mansion. There were countless experts here. Who would dare to provoke them? Even they didn't dare to make a move easily. But now Lin Xian and the other 2 directly charged in. It made him feel incredulous. Wasn't this too audacious? The people inside were all stunned. They didn't expect that someone would dare to attack people. The door opened. A few disciples came up and asked, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Chapter 46:14. Countless cracks appeared on the ground, and the palaces were destroyed. This scene alarmed the people in the mansion. Who dared to behave atrociously here? One by one, figures rose into the air. When they saw that it was Lin Xian, their faces changed instantly. "It's you. You're not dead?" Lin Xian snorted coldly. "So, it seems like you guys did it. Since that's the case, you guys can go to hell." With a wave of his hand, the demonic beasts rushed forward. "You're courting death. Kid, do you know where you are? This is not a place where you can behave atrociously." These people were furious. They were the overlords of the Grotto Heavens. How could a young man attack them? With a roar, the other people also shouted angrily and charged over. Although they did not have as many demonic beasts as the other party, this was their territory and they had countless arrays. Suddenly, a few killing arrays were activated. Terrifying power swept out and fought against the demonic beasts. Lin Xian snorted coldly, his golden eyes shining. The great spear of destruction shot down like a black dragon, instantly shattering one of the killing arrays. Damn it! Who is this person? How could he find the flaw in their array so easily? These people were terrified. Lin Xian attacked again. With his array skills and the power of the great spear of destruction, it was easy to destroy the array. In the blink of an eye, Another 3 arrays were destroyed. The pressure on the demonic beasts was also reduced. They roared and began to attack wildly. Many people from the Xiling Grotto heaven died, their bodies turning into blood mist. The front seemed to have turned into azure hell. Damn it! The people from the Xiling Grotto heaven went crazy and retreated quickly. Many elders shouted angrily. At this moment, a cold snort sounded between heaven and earth. Ants, how dare you behave atrociously here? Go to hell. Between heaven and earth, the void cracked and a thunder shot out. This was the power of a peak sage king. Xiaomu snorted and waved his hand, blocking the thunder. He stood beside Lin Xian. At the same time, the terrifying soul heavenly voice shot into the void. There was a burst of energy above, and a figure descended. It was a middle-aged man. His face was extremely cold and murderous. He stared at Xiaomu. Xiaomu's soul made him very frightened. At the same time, he looked at Lin Xian and Elder Bai. He gritted his teeth and said, Bai Yuan, do you people from the White Cloud Grotto heaven want to die? Bai Yuan was on the verge of tears. He was only leading the way. How could he have imagined that Lin Xian would be so crazy as to directly attack someone in the other party's territory? It was a misunderstanding. It was not the White Cloud Grotto heaven. Previously, someone attacked young Master Qing. Young Master Qing thought that it was you guys, so he came. Lin Xian sneered. There was no need for Lin Xian to explain. It was the Purple Spirit Paradise's doing. The peak stage Saint King in the sky was also enraged. Precepts swept out from his body as he gritted his teeth. While Xiaomu was fighting against Elder Bai could also feel his blood boiling. He was also furious. How dare you? Xiaomu is an important guest of the White Cloud Grotto heaven. Try to understand him. He admired Lin Xian from the bottom of his heart. He was still hoping that Lin Xian would give him some demonic beasts to increase his strength. So he was angry. Moreover, he also felt that it was Purple Spirit Grotto heaven. Bai Yuan, if you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. I won't let anyone who came in today go. Elder Bai was also angry. He said to the people around him, Don't hold back. Attack. The experts of the White Cloud Grotto heaven were also angry and attacked quickly. Although they didn't have many people, they wouldn't just sit and wait for death. Lin Xian's voice was even colder. Since you want to kill me, you can all go to hell. He activated the terrifying seal of life and death. The beasts under his control instantly had their eyes turn red. Their aura became violent. Some of them even burned their bloodline. Kill. These beasts didn't care about their lives. They didn't dodge at all. How could the Grotto heavens be a match for them? So many young disciples died instantly. You're courting death. 3 elders charged into the horde of beasts. Lin Xian activated the seal of life and death. The 2 beasts burst open and encapsulated the 3 elders within an instant. The 3 elders went crazy. They didn't expect Lin Xian to be so decisive and sacrifice the beasts. The 3 of them were scared out of their wits. They wanted to escape. But in the end, they were shrouded by the power and turned into a bloody mist. Damn it. The eyes of the people of Xiling Grotto heaven turned red. Kill. Kill that kid. Many of them charged towards Lin Xian. The 3-eyed vermilion bird under Lin Xian's feet crept and shot out terrifying flames. The vermilion bird's phantom swept in all directions. Lin Xian held the great spear of destruction and attacked. At the same time, he used his eye technique and attacked with his soul. Those people fell from the sky. He was like a god of death, attacking aggressively. Everywhere he passed, no one could stop him. The beasts were even more violent. They pierced through the palaces. The sky shattered and the earth split open. It was a scene of destruction. The battle here naturally attracted the attention of the Moonshine City. Countless people rushed over. When they saw that it was the residents of Xiling Heaven, they were stunned. Someone was attacking the Xiling Grotto Heaven. Who could be so strong? There were many families and sects in the Moonshine City, but the most powerful ones were the 6 Grotto Heavens. No one dared to provoke them. Now the attack on the Xiling Grotto Heaven made them feel like they were dreaming. Use the sacred weapon. A peak elder rushed to the ground and opened the seal. Suddenly, a terrifying aura burst out. It was a black sacred sword. As soon as it appeared, it cut through the sky. The flames shot out by the vermilion bird were extinguished. The black sacred sword attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian dodged quickly. He rushed towards the young people of Xiling Grotto Heaven. The great spear of destruction pierced through more than 10 figures. No one was his match. Damn it! The experts of the Xiling Grotto Heaven were furious. They held the black sacred sword, but they did not dare to attack. They were afraid that they would hurt their own people. Kid, come out if you have the guts. Lin Xian sneered. You have lived for thousands of years. You want me to come out with a peak sacred weapon? Are you out of your mind? Today, I will let you see with your own eyes the fall of your disciples. Lin Xian slapped out again. The two of them turned into blood mist. Damn it! The elder rushed down with the sacred sword. At this time, Xiaomu roared. Do you really think that I am not here? He took out a jade flute. It was a red jade flute with a dangerous aura. He used it now. It was the Song of Illusion. The three-eyed vermilion bird roared to the sky. The blood in its body burned. On the other side, a strange golden fish rushed over with the seawater on its head. Chapter 46:15. They were burning their lives. The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven were shocked. They did not dare to burn their lives, but the beasts did. Beasts could be replaced, but if they lost their lives, they could not be replaced. Therefore, they could only roar. Stop, we won't fight anymore. The black sacred sword stopped. The peak elders from Xiling Grotto Heaven gritted their teeth and said, let them go. Hearing this, the two beasts stopped burning their blood. They calmed down again. Groups of beasts stood in the air, full of killing intent. Lin Xian said coldly, how dare you send shit? You dare to assassinate me? I'll remember you. Xiling Grotto Heaven, I'll make you regret it. The people from Xiling Grotto Heaven were also going crazy. Kid, don't be too proud. We'll let you go this time, but next time we'll destroy your soul. Xiaomu said, young master, it's about time. With our current strength, we can't completely destroy them. Lin Xian nodded, indicating that he understood. It might be possible if he brought more people, but now was not the time. Besides, there was no need to completely destroy Xiling Grotto Heaven. This time he only wanted to vent his anger. Now that he had vented his killing intent, it was time to stop. He waved his hand and said, let's go. The beasts in the air went back into the beast pouch. Lin Xian and the rest turned and left. Was the battle over? Those people in the distance were quietly investigating. When they saw the mansion in front of them, they almost fainted. At this moment, the mansion in Xiling Grotto Heaven was in ruins. Not a single building was intact. The ground was completely cracked. Sacred blood was surging in the sky. Many beasts' corpses were piled up into mountains. However, most of the people from Xiling Grotto Heaven had died. Those people did not even have a body. They turned into a bloody mist and circled the sky. It was too terrifying. Elder Bai was dumbfounded. He did not even know how he returned to the mansion. When he returned and the news spread, the people from White Cloud Grotto Heaven were shocked. Something like this had happened. Oh no, they quickly reported it. They were worried that Xiling Grotto Heaven would come for revenge, so they activated the Peerless Formation. The people outside were all summoned back by them. At the same time, they requested a group of experts to support them. The people from other Grotto Heavens were also shocked. This beast tamer was too arrogant. Some Grotto Heavens said that they could not afford to offend the other party. There were also people who sneered. It seemed like the Violet Spirit Paradise would not let this matter rest. How were they going to deal with this? The White Cloud Mansion was naturally nervous. In the past few days, they had begun to deploy their troops. Lin Xian said with a smile, don't worry, the demonic beasts that I have arranged for you have already been activated. These demonic beasts are extremely terrifying. Their defense and attack are unparalleled. It won't be a problem. As long as they dared to come, they would die without a burial ground. Hearing this, the people of the White Cloud Mansion heaved a sigh of relief. Indeed, with the protection of the 5 great plant-type demonic beasts, their defense was much stronger than before. Therefore, they were all relieved. About 10 days later, boundless spatial fluctuations suddenly appeared, and the entire sky turned violet. It was as if violet clouds were pressing down on the city. The White Cloud Mansion was shaking violently. The surrounding void was shattering continuously. The people inside were startled at the first instance. Not good, the enemy is here. One by one, experts rushed out from the palaces and looked up at the sky. Some of them gritted their teeth. They were the people of the Violet Spirit Paradise. Elder Bai also came out. He shouted coldly, "Violet Spirit Paradise, do you want to attack my White Cloud Mansion?" In the sky, purple clouds filled the air, and figures appeared one after another. One of the old men shouted coldly, "What are you afraid now? When you went to the Violet Spirit Paradise and behaved atrociously, did you think of this day? Be obedient and hand over that kid, and we can let you live. You destroyed our Violet Spirit Paradise, so there is no need for your White Cloud Mansion to exist." Not only did these people want to kill Lin Xian, but they also wanted to destroy their mansion in Moonshine City. How could the people of the White Cloud Mansion tolerate this? This time, Elder Bai did not need to say anything. The other elders were also furious. You still want to resist? Then do it. In the sky, purple thunder struck down, covering the sky. The thunder was extremely terrifying, piercing through everything. In an instant, the ground below cracked open, and the palaces collapsed. Some of the White Cloud Mansion experts were also split in half. Damn it, you dare to attack. Attack. The White Cloud Mansion experts also counterattacked, and at the same time, they activated the array. The Dharma in the sky swept across, facing the purple thunder. A great battle broke out in an instant. The terrifying aura shook the entire Moonshine City. The entire Moonshine City shook violently. Countless people were shocked. What was happening now? They saw thunder and lightning in the distance, and it was a scene of destruction. No way, there was another great battle. This time, it came from the direction of White Cloud Mansion. Someone was attacking the White Cloud Mansion people. It must be the Violet Spirit Paradise people. They are going to take revenge. Let's go and take a look. One figure after another quickly flew in that direction. Of course, they did not dare to get close. They watched from afar, because the aura in front was too terrifying. The entire White Cloud Mansion was covered in a sea of lightning. In a palace, Lin Xian opened his eyes. Are they coming? They are coming faster than I imagined. Lone Moon looked over and frowned slightly. The battle is about to reach us. Should we go out and help? Lin Xian said, this is not the time. They should wait until White Cloud Mansion can't take it anymore. Outside, thunder and lightning were everywhere. But inside the palace, Lin Xian and the other two were indeed at ease. They even chatted and drank spirit tea. The White Cloud Mansion people did not ask Lin Xian for help. In their opinion, this was their territory, and they could definitely handle it. But they had underestimated them. After Purple Spirit Grotto had suffered a loss the last time, they had transferred a lot of experts this time. Their strength was much more formidable than they had imagined. Not long after, 3 late-stage Sage King Elders fell. The White Cloud Mansion people's eyes were red. Furthermore, many of the younger disciples had also turned into a bloody mist. Damn it, if the battle continued, their mansion in Moonshine City would be in danger of being destroyed. Elder Bai gritted his teeth. I will ask Master for help. He descended quickly and came to the front of a palace. He said anxiously, Master, are you there? Please help, we can't take it anymore. The door of the palace opened, and Lin Xian walked out and said, What's going on? Is that group of people attacking again? Don't worry, I will help you. Next, I will activate the 5 peerless demonic beasts. Elder Bai heaved a sigh of relief. Thank you, Master. Lin Xian took a step forward. His eyes shone with a terrifying light. Seal of life and death. The ground cracked. From 5 directions of the mansion, an extremely terrifying aura swept across the 9 heavens. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference. as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.